proud of you, Isaac. Listen, for real, man. I listened to most of the episodes already.
Oh, Jesus.
I did my homework. You got to do your homework, bro.
Nobody else listens. That's cool.
Listen, I have to say, did you do PTS? Did you work at PTS on air stuff?
Yeah, I had a show called. Wait, why can't I hear myself?
I hear you.
Oh, here, it's not plugged in. I had a show called.
As I just get done commending
my
you
balls.
on.
I had a show called The Pregame Show on PTS, which was 2007 to 2008 or something like that, with Basic Sickness with Ryan Cassidy. Ooh, you look crispy.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, right. That was probably my favorite interview with Basic, because you guys have this, chemistry, because you're friends from way back, right? I mean,
yeah.
All of them were good, but there's something special about that interview because you guys are like that.
God, I love interviewing radio people so much. The voice, it's the voice.
Well, I still do some podcasting and freelance voiceover work. Shout out to AAA. If you call AAA anywhere on the East Coast and you get put on hold, you'll hear my voice.
You and PDC, he has a great voice too. I don't know how he got it because he's not a radio.
He's not
guy.
a radio dude.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just from being on the mic a lot at clubs and stuff. And you got to do a little bit of practice. I assume we're both probably neurotic. He's probably neurotic. You think about this stuff nonstop in your head when you're not on a microphone. At least that's how my brain works. I just kind of. I'm a visualizer. Like if I, go into a gig or a radio show or a podcast and I'm not that into it, it's never going to be as good as it could be. But if I sit and think about it ahead of time and plan my moves and think about what I'm going to say and think about what I'm going to play, more often than not, it always ends up better than if I didn't. So all the kiddos out there.
I think you're spot on. I think about it with medicine.
Yeah.
About how much better the interaction goes with a patient if I actually read their chart before I walk in the room. If I actually have an idea of what the diagnosis is going to be before I go in there.
Yeah.
If I have a plan, if I have, a set. And then if things change, you can mold it.
Follow that path, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm proud of you, dude. I'm proud of you. You're a doctor. You're cutting it up. You're cutting up brains in the daytime, cutting up records at night, and cutting it up on the podcast.
That's the sound clip right there. We can just end it. No, so
Dunk.
good.
Dunk. He's on fire.
So good, man. You want to drink?
Your Goldzer. I brought some beers for us, some craft beers. You know me and.
I wanted to know about the whole craft beer thing.
Yeah, so it was
kind of
like
Instagram for craft beer.
I
or
like
something?
your shirt, by the way. Big shout out to Jimmy.
I had to.
Selecta.
There was this big controversy with the shirt. We'll get into it. I had to wear it because of the beef episode with Wade. Wade Anthony kind of went hard at
that's one of the ones. See, I didn't go through them sequentially. I kind of listened to all the homies first. Jimmy, Bamboo, Pete.
Nice, man. That's a lot of effort. Do you go 1.5x?
What do you mean?
1.25x? How fast do you listen to
I
them?
listen to them in real time.
What are you doing? Are you working out or
driving?
driving?
I'm either working out or I'm we just had a garage sale in the so my house looks like a bomb went off inside. We just pulled all the shit out to get it. My wife went bonkers for this. We staged everything in the garage and then pulled it all out. There's shit everywhere in my basement. So, I've spent a few hours cleaning in the past week.
Yeah,
trying to put things back, put Humpty back together again.
With my miserable voice in your brain.
No,
just giving you shitty advice.
No, not at all.
Telling old stories, road stories. I told the story about Nugget rolling out of the booth at Whim on the last episode. When he was so drunk he couldn't climb down the steps.
And that's unlike Adam. He's not like, I don't know him. Nugget and I go pretty far back.
He did 3 full somersaults on the way down the steps.
Was he okay?
Yeah, you know how when people are drunk they kind of like bounce?
They're like rubber. That's why if you're, God forbid, you're driving drunk and you get in an accident, you don't see it coming, right?
Whoa, whoa, yeah. People say that like somehow that protects you in some way, but I don't know if that's a thing, and I definitely don't advocate for anybody.
Yeah, no, please don't drive drunk.
But yeah, that is a thing people say, isn't it? It's like you're loose or something. So
like kids too.
if you
you know?
brace, you
If you brace,
get
then
hurt.
you're in trouble. Yeah.
But then they tell you to brace on the airplane, right? Brace, impact,
brace
impact.
for impact. You're moving a little bit quicker in an airplane, but
Well, it depends what you got, man. Those Teslas are moving, and some of those planes go slow. Like we were at what was it? Three Rivers Arts Fest. I guess there were a couple planes, and what was the other one? Oh, the Taylor Swift. Were there a couple planes up? I was looking at planes. They're moving slow.
Yeah.
They do like 200. I feel like they can. I don't know what the minimum is for a plane, but I feel like you can do like 220, something like that. And
1.21 gigawatts,
I scratched that sample
88 miles per hour.
on one of my on my time travel set where I do only songs about time travel.
Yeah.
And so one of the samples, of course, is from Back to the Future.
Is
So
it-
1.21 gigawatts.
Do you do that for mixes? Do you pick a theme? 'Cause
Yeah,
I find myself
only.
doing that more often than not these days.
The only ones that I care about at all that I've done are the
Yeah.
themes. The best mix I ever
Mhm.
did was one called Run by Fruiting, which was every song is about fruit.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable. I mean, it's crazy that nobody cares about it at all. But every song is a different genre. There's 64 songs in 1 hour. Every song's a different genre.
Holy
Every
shit.
transition is different. Every single song is mashed up or remixed in some way. There's no originals played at all. I mean, it's a wild fucking mix. And they're all about fruit.
That is wild. That is wild. You're a
With
fan.
samples scratched through the whole thing. Like every song has like a little scratch
I
break.
did one like that. It was called Hood and Plenty. Like Good and Plenty. So all the songs had some mention of candy in them at some point.
Oh, Candy Girl,
That wasn't
rock
in it.
my world.
It was all trap
I taste
and
just like candy. So dance with me. That was one of the first records I had. So you remember when I don't know when you started DJing, but did you start on vinyl?
I did. Yeah, I learned on vinyl.
So you only have if it was me, we only had like a couple records. And so whatever like those 20, 30, 40 records you have just get buried in your mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I learned in a basement up on Mount Washington on an old set of Newmarks. Like, I got my first taste of DJing back in college. A friend of mine, my roommate at the time, was like, I'm going to be a DJ. Fucking hardly ever touched his setup. So, I'd be like, hey, do you mind if I get on? And I would just kind of mess around with scratch. So this is like 2000, 2001. And then, I ran into Bonics when I got into radio, and that's kind of set it off for me. I was like, this is something I love, and it's also something I can make a living from. So let's go in.
He did you meet him through Pitt? Were you at Pitt or no?
I was at Pitt, but no, I did not meet. And I had dreams of going to PTS and being like, I'm going to go on the radio at PTS. And Brandon was like, why would you do that? You're on the air at KISS now. I got hired out of my internship. I did 6 months in an internship, and I spent every waking moment there. And we got a new program director right as I was, sort of halfway through my internship. And he was like, he went to Brandon and said, Bonics, and it was like, listen, we need to bring in some, at that point they were still farming talent from within for the radio.
Yeah.
And they no longer do interns.
Kathy was an intern, right? And she got a job, and then
she got a job up in sales and then spent all of her time downstairs. She wasn't selling much, but she was on the air all the time with Scotty and with Brandon, and she was putting her time in behind the microphone and, the computer and everything.
Was there a guy named Mike also who used to
Mike
work
Ryan?
Yeah.
Mike Ryan.
Yeah. Was he involved with KISS too?
Yeah. He was the overnight guy. I was the night, like once some people left, Goofy White Kid, my dude, shout out to Drew.
Hilarious name.
A lot of shout outs.
One of the best names.
Yeah, DJ.
Yeah. Well, one of the best parts about these episodes is going back through when I'm editing it and taking down all the references. So everybody's name gets shouted out, gets into the reel.
Yeah.
And they get tagged whether they want to or not. Like nobody, but it's definitely one of the most fun parts is collecting all the references afterwards and and oftentimes learning about new people. For us it's a lot of overlap, but oftentimes I'll be interviewing somebody like Femi or something, and they're bringing up all these wild.
Or Bus, like I that was an educational episode for me because he's been around for a long time and he knows people on this side of the country and that side of the country, and it's a lot of people. There was a lot coming at you at one time in that episode, and it was like, ooh, jot that down.
Yeah, and a lot of those episodes, maybe even this one, are going to have to happen again. I mean, I was so unprepared. I feel like you learn this by doing it. And those are episodes 2 and 3. You know, I had no idea what was going on. A lot of the video is kind of, shaky, and I think the sound has been solid for the most part, which I've been happy about.
These Shure mics are nice, man.
Thanks.
I like them.
Yeah. Well, your voice sounds good on anything, Scott.
I use an SM58. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's what these are.
Is that what these are?
I don't know. No. MV7.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're nice.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
But anyway, what were we talking about?
You were talking about how you got into DJing.
Okay. Yeah.
And the radio.
So it was sort of out of necessity and then sort of out of passion. You know, I started following Bonics around, as many people do. He's just a genuinely nice guy and charismatic. And like, I think that's Brandon's purpose in life, is to bring people together and make them happy in one way or another. Like, that dude is like a brother to me. He showed me everything about radio. He showed me everything about DJing, not just technical, mechanical, but the business, the undertones, you know, the friendships, the enemy stuff, you know, the haters, the friends, all of it. You know, I got to see it point blank from one of the best in the business. So it was born out of, you know, I had a light bulb moment in radio, you know. He's like, hey, you should come up. So I just met him, just shook his hand the first time. And he was like, yeah, you should come up to the studio sometime. The next, and it was like that week, same week, like day after next, I went up there and he put me on the air as soon as I walked in the studio. And I was like,
so cool.
Holy crap, man. Like, light bulb went off. And I was like, this is pretty fun.
Yeah. But do you remember what you liked about it? Like, what was fun about it? What'd you bring me?
Oh,
I was about to get into my little seltzers. But I'm
do you
excited.
like IPAs? I mean,
Bro,
you know,
I'll drink
I'm
anything.
kinda
I'll
over
literally
them.
drink anything. The only thing I don't really get down with is the stuff that's like too strong, like the triples and quadruples and the quads, the imperials. It's just for some of those tastes can be a little too malty to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When it gets like that really heavy
It's like
malt.
syrupy almost.
Yeah, you don't get down with that.
Try that one. I got a couple boys that work at Dancing Gnome that we all used to work together at Necromancer.
Oh, cool.
In the
I
North
saw
Hills.
that. Yeah, I just saw that brewery because we were up in the North Hills this past weekend searching for my ancestors' graves on Father's Day. And we found them. It was cool as hell.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was freaking super cool, man. And I'm really glad I made it happen. It wasn't easy. I had to get photos from my parents with maps of where the plots were and everything.
So how was track lost of that? How did that get lost in?
Oh, like why didn't I know where their graves were? Yeah, good question.
Is that like a family thing that it just kind of something that time forgot, or because that's really interesting?
Yeah. No, that's a really good question.
Shalom.
I think. Yeah. Cheers, l'chaim. This is delicious. So I just never went. I mean, I don't think they never took me. You know, it's not my grandparents. It's my great grandpa and my great grandma. So my dad's parents.
Mm-hmm. That is, you're a couple generations removed.
I never met them.
It is, yeah.
I never met them. They died in the 70s, like 1968, 1972. But man, are they important to my family's story.
Sure, yeah.
She was the one who saw the writing on the wall with Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, we're out. We're leaving. And there was no way, like they couldn't all leave at once. So Isaac Goldzer, my namesake, had to go first, work as a peddler on the streets of the North Shore.
Build up some funds.
Generate some money and send money back home and get people over here. It was, common story in Poland.
I can't even imagine, man. Like
Czechoslovakia, Poland.
Wow.
Shout out to Isaac Goldzer.
And this is the 20s and 30s? Or
so they...
Like before World War II?
Yeah, they...
Must have been.
The last of them got out in 33, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, but obviously it wasn't the last of them. Everybody who was left got burned up.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild because all the Goldzers in the world are my relatives. There's no Goldzer out there that's not my family member.
There's no delineage anywhere. You're a relative of some sort all the way down the line in blood.
That's it. Yeah, and there would be a lot more of us.
Yeah.
If we had blue eyes and blonde hair.
Jesus Christ.
What?
It's true.
I mean, it's crazy.
It's
like
true.
if you could pass, you had a much better shot of making it. It was not a good time to be looking like B-tips.
Well, I mean, I get German Jew all the time. I do.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the Perlmans. Do you know the Perlman family, Greg and Susie?
No.
He's the guy that runs Walnut Capital, and she runs the textile place down in the Mosaic, down in the Strip. Super awesome family. I did both of their daughters' bat mitzvahs.
Wow.
And like, just from meeting them and doing a couple DJ gigs from them, that kept me busy for years.
That's
doing
so sick, man.
bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs and stuff. And I became ingratiated with the Jewish community, started working for the JCC, doing gigs and stuff.
Wow.
Rodef all the time.
Yeah. Did you know people at the Tree of Life? Did that one kind of hit?
I knew the two twins. They were at the last bar mitzvah that I did at Rodef.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy how small of a community Pittsburgh is. Just everybody that I talk to has some kind of connection, and it's really interesting also how I moved from Charleston, South Carolina to Pittsburgh, PA.
Mm-hmm.
And really the two most heinous, awful massacres in places of worship were in those two cities, right? I mean, what else? Those are the two worst ones I can think of.
You're the common denominator here.
Fuck. I wasn't living in Charleston for that shit,
no,
and I wasn't living in Pittsburgh for this one, so wrong.
My theory is shot. No pun intended.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck, Scott. Jesus, man.
Stark humor up in this bitch. That's how I roll, dark. Man.
What have you been doing with your career?
Well, it was, COVID sort of trashed everything. It trashed radio. It trashed DJing for everyone.
Why would radio be trashed by COVID? That makes no sense.
Well, it was kind of coincidental. iHeartMedia, the company that owns formerly Clear Channel, they got too big for their britches, right? So they went and bought up a ton of radio stations long before the pandemic. It became unsustainable, so they started unloading radio stations. And then it got to the point where Bob Pittman, the CEO or the COO, whatever his name, whatever his title, he's like, I want to get out. So they started the reorganization process to trim the fat, and they wanted to be bought out by Liberty Media, which is the company that owns SiriusXM. They're pretty big, obviously. And this is January of 2020. So I get cut loose mid-January 2020, and I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? It's kind of devastating. This is the better part of 20 years I'm in radio. Some of the best friends I've ever had professionally and personally.
Mike, Bob,
Kathy,
everybody.
Goofy White Kid.
Even people in the, DVE was sharing a studio space when I was there.
All those guys, and I'm still friends with a lot of them as of today. But, it's just kind of be weird to ripped out of your routine.
What were you doing right before January 2020? Did you have, what was your show?
I was still doing nights. Yeah. I was
10 to 2 or what was the time?
No, 7 to midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Number one night guy for years.
Every day of the week.
Yeah.
7 to midnight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Every day.
On Saturdays, sometimes it was 7 days a week, depending on
such a huge amount of work.
Because again, going on vacation was the worst because you had to.
Oh, you had to get it all scheduled up beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
And would you do it? Did
a
they
lot
give
of times
21 days or something?
Well, here's the thing. So they stopped. iHeart got sued by an intern in New York, somewhere in upstate New York. They got sued. It's the most ludicrous shit you can think of. This girl, I think it was a girl, sued iHeart because she was doing the work of a paid person but unpaid. Okay. Which is the point of an internship, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what we all did, right?
But apparently it held up in court. So iHeart blanket policy, no more interns. So, and this is probably like 2014, 2015. So we're pretty well off from this restructuring that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But so no more interns, they were doing promo interns, but they couldn't come into the studio. They can't touch any equipment. Literally all they can do is hang posters and talk to people, when you're out on a remote.
Yeah.
So a lot of
the
times,
remotes were like the ones that we did at Barroom.
Yeah. That's a live remote. And we did, I'd show up at a Cricket wireless store in Greensburg or, just some weird random stuff.
And they pay for the promotion, basically.
Yeah. You get a talent fee. They pay for their airtime and you do callbacks or, whatever. So no interns. I'd have to do a lot of that work, schedule it out ahead of time.
Did you feel like, though, it was kind of time to say goodbye to radio? For you personally, for the world? I mean, it's kind of yestertech, right?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I could do that job forever, as long as you stay relevant and as long as you're engaging to your listeners. What's in it for your listeners? So Mike and Bob are a great example. They're still kicking it. They're still a highly rated morning show, and that's tough to do. But that being said, the morning shows get a lot of the emphasis when it comes to ratings and revenue. That's when people tune in on the car ride to work. That's how radio became such a mainstay in everyone's lives. It started out as, public service, and then it became entertainment.
I have to plug Mikey and Bob even more because there really aren't any morning shows that are genuine in the way that they are, consistent, and just actually being themselves. I think that's the secret. That's the secret to their success.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's just
they're genuine.
They're actually really funny people, and
off air too.
Exactly.
It's not a shtick. They're like that on the air. Like there's some other people that do shtick. Mark Madden's a nice guy in person generally, but on the air he's the one. He's the heel, So yeah, Mike and Bob, they're brothers from another. Both great dudes.
Pretty cool. Although I don't really fuck with Taylor Swift, so whatever, man. Like,
what's wrong with you?
I don't understand. Like, I get it as a country artist, it's cool, but as a pop artist, I don't really get with her. Like,
we got to talk about
I like Gaga more. Like, I like as a pop artist.
Sure.
I like Katy Perry more. There's any number of people that are pop, like The Weeknd.
Everybody runs their business differently, man, and at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah, I also respect her as a business person, as a successful artist. I respect that. I think that's cool. But she's got no beats, no rhymes. She's got no dance moves.
Bad Blood's all right. Kendrick?
Oh, okay. The Guest has some rhymes.
Sure.
But she can't rap. She's got she got no lyrics, no beats. Why am I listening to this? I mean, even the country records I listen to are about the story.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so,
well, that's going to get tired. I almost said rapping. Her singing about breakups and romance and all that shit. Yeah, that's gonna go down the shitter eventually, especially once she gets past her prime. I don't. She may never. Although it's insane her following. I mean, there were 30,000 people outside of Acrisure,
unbelievable,
just listening to the noise coming out of the stadium.
I got robbed by a pickpocket while I was doing that at a Disclosure concert in New York City. It was actually a brilliant scheme they had. Nobody do this, but they had this little device that you spin with your hands like this. You kind of rub it between your hands, and then you shoot it up in the air, and it spins, and it lights up, and it turns green, and it glows, and you're looking up at it. I'm like,
dumbass is
looking
up.
That's so cool. And then I'm like trying to find it and catch it, and like I look down, and the person that showed me like how to do it was gone, and then so was my wallet.
Fool me once.
It was a good scheme, actually. Yeah. I thought it was pretty solid.
It's the old rope-a-dope, man. It's the old. Look
here, and then yep,
made you look.
Yep, they got me. I always tell people I'm from Detroit. Like, you can't take me, but I've been robbed. I've been taken many a time.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever had my pocket picked, and if I did, I didn't even know it. Like.
Right, that was a 20 you didn't even know you had.
I might have been like, "Oh shit, was I drunk last night?"
So the question was about the future of radio and about your career trajectory, about whether you were ready to hang up your hat or not, and you kind of act like it was the rug being pulled out from under you, but was it?
It sure was. Yeah, it sure was. I mean, because I was doing the job of like 4 people basically, and the numbers don't lie. I was the #1 night show for the only time I was beat at night was by the Penguins on the X in 2016 when they were on a cup run. It was like I got beat in the month of April when they started their cup run that year.
Hard to beat the Pens in Pittsburgh.
Every other year I was #1. I mean, I even had like a 40 share at night, but the second time we put B94 out of business, I had a 40 share, which is basically, for the listeners or your consumers, it's 1 in 4 cars driving around on the road at night was listening to me. But I mean, this is earlier on, this is a little bit earlier on than 2019, 2020. But anyhow, So I got axed I had a handshake deal at Steel City on March 11th. I went in to interview. March 13th, the lockdown goes into effect. So I wait a week or two. I'm like, then I email over there. I'm like, hey, guys, so what are we thinking here? Zach over at Q92.9 was like, we're going to hold off until this blows over.
Hold off on what?
Pulling the trigger on a contract.
Oh,
you know?
Fuck. You didn't have a contract?
No, I just had a deal on a handshake. I was coming in the next week to sign a contract. And the world had shut down at that point, and people were looking over their shoulders like, what's going to happen next?
Would you recommend someone to go into the career of radio right now?
Now? No, you don't have to. I mean, we're doing radio technically right now for free, you know? You got the equipment, you got the talent, you know, you can do a show from anywhere. And, you know, some of these people are making more money than anybody in radio ever made.
Is terrestrial radio dead?
No. As long as they're still putting radios in cars and people are still buying advertising, radio will never die. You look at technology and how long it takes to catch up in some spaces of the world. You know, there's some people that still don't have cell phones in this country.
I know. They're my patients, many of them. I bought 3 rolls of film last night at a Rite Aid. Film.
Yeah.
I had to look up where they sell it, but it was there.
Somebody bought my manual camera from college at the garage sale.
Manual? Is
ProMaster 2000 PK.
Was it like 35 millimeter film camera?
Mm-hmm.
I would have taken that. You didn't know I was shooting film.
I didn't know.
I've been doing it lately.
No,
it's
I
cool.
know. Yeah, I gleaned that from listening to some of these, like when you had CJ Flicks.
Oh yeah, CMJ. Man,
CMJ
what
Flicks.
A wild dude. My God,
that was a cool episode. I'm not into that. I'm not into technology in that way, and that was kind of interesting and eye-opening to see like how you guys talked about apertures and video and technology in that regard.
I'm gonna have a actual concert photographer on soon.
Yeah,
a dude named Zero, ZRO. He's involved with Steez Promo.
Okay,
he's also a DJ, dubstep DJ. And I'm looking forward to getting into the weeds about tech with that. The one that I'm scared about is Dr. Dapp, who's coming on, and he's insane with Bitcoin and crypto. He has a whole podcast on crypto, and I don't understand a word they say the whole time. They start talking, I press play, I wait an hour. By the end, I've learned nothing. I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't understand a word they say.
I mean, you gotta try and get Scott Melker on. I mean, he's the god for the Wolf of All Streets. You know Scott Melker, right?
No, his local Pittsburgh guy.
No, no. He's.
I'm not doing any remotes.
No,
not.
I did hear you say that. You want it to be in person. Yeah,
yeah.
Because you got a conspiracy about being deep faked.
No. I believe in sharing spaces with people.
Sure.
I've talked about that also.
Human interaction.
About how we exist in these rooms. And how the rooms that we sit in determine how our life is spent, and the people that are in those rooms with us determine how our life is spent and what our life means in the end.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about: human interaction, like the way that you interact with other people, and if you can touch somebody else, emotionally, mentally,
physically.
You look good, by the way. You've been working out
a little bit. I feel like you've been going harder.
It's Ozempic.
Is that? Did you go on it?
No, I'm just fucking around.
PDC did.
Is he? That shit's wild, though. I mean, do you get people hitting you up for like, hey doc, can you write me a script?
They know. Like, I'm so hyper specialized now. Yeah. I don't deal with really anything. Like, I won't even do a headache. I mean, I'll touch your depression, your anxiety a little, but really it's Parkinson's, tremor, dystonia. That's it.
Do any autism work?
No. I know very, very little about autism.
Okay.
I get that it's a neurologic illness. I have no idea what causes it. I don't think anyone does.
No.
You could probably teach me more.
Yeah, I have a daughter on the spectrum. She's most doctors rate autism on a scale of 1 to 4. She's like a 2. So she's pretty high functioning. But yeah, I'm still learning, and I have a 9-year-old child with autism.
Yeah,
and I try to do as much work as I can with Autism Speaks.
Oh wow!
Shout out to Steph C. We do the autism walk. We do the They do a day out at Idlewild that I've emceed before.
Cool.
So wherever I can help out, Autism Speaks. Make sure you check it out.
Awesome. Are they the puzzle piece or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. My cousin, one of my mom's younger brothers, has a son with autism. Really, really cool kid. Just sent my son a ton of toys.
Yeah.
It was a really, really nice thing. He sent all of his old jet, like little jet fighter toys.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid is I mean, he's sort of brilliant in his own way, right?
Is that his
he
fixation
knows,
though? Jets?
Yeah, well,
like airplanes and
anything
stuff?
with wheels or wings,
Yeah.
he can tell you just by looking at it what type it is, what years it flew, how fast it could go, what type of like engine, everything, airspeed, everything. So he's like, he's kind of brilliant in that way. And I don't know. I mean, I guess some people have that, right? Like super specialization, and then others don't. So it's a complicated,
super defined interest
illness.
Is kind of what it is. My daughter wants to be a chef, so like all she does is mess around in the kitchen. She's got a kitchen in her bedroom, a kitchen in the living room, a kitchen downstairs. Play kitchens, and then she helps us out in the big kitchen. She helps us cook. Yeah, she's fantastic.
That's so cool.
I love her. Being a dad is like the best thing, and that sort of plays into my career path too, because I had a shit or get off the pot moment eventually where it was like, I can become a better DJ if I put the 10,000 hours in. And this is about the time, I got to that point. I'm a good DJ, like toot toot, I can rock a party. My selection is decent. I can cut. I'm not great, but I got to that point in my life where it was like, I can focus on this and get really good, or I can ignore my family.
Exactly.
And I chose my family.
Yeah.
So that fell by the way. DJing sort of fell by the wayside for a little while there. I kind of got away from it, but it always seeks me out for some weird reason. I always come back to DJs. I got a lot of things in my life that are love-hate relationships, and DJing is kind of one of them, Would I rather spend a Saturday on the couch with my kids or like in the yard playing with my kids? Hell yeah, but a $3,000-$4,000 wedding is also pretty nice, or a private event or a Penguins game, You
bang out a few of those private events, a few of those weddings, and you get to spend some really high quality time with your family because you have that extra loot around. That's how I rationalize it anyway.
Well, when my kids were young, I was doing 30 weddings a year, which is basically a wedding a weekend for most of the year.
Right, the season, like during the season.
There is no season anymore. There is no wedding season anymore. People are booking venues in off spots because the rates are better. So I'm doing weddings in November, December, January now, or at least I was.
I remember playing one in Station Square in
the middle of
St.
winter.
Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah,
frigid, cold.
Still cold.
Yep. Somebody in a wheelchair rolled over my foot and kind of broke my toe that night.
Bro, usually it's like, this is why we get liability insurance, because we're afraid. Holy shit, did you say anything?
Yeah, I was like, you fucking broke my toe, dude. I'm dying in pain right now.
Go get me a drink, asshole. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an awkward situation.
For sure. You're not usually the one getting hurt. It's somebody tripping over a wire, a cable or a mic stand or a speaker stand.
Yeah. That was Nugget's point. Something like, we have to have insurance because, like, what if the speaker falls and kills grandma or something?
Yeah, right.
Jesus, man. Like,
get this thing off of me.
So what would it have been if you would have went hard? If you would have put the gas pedal down? Was it going to be festivals? Was it going to be
I would have
EDM scene?
I would have continued on the club circuit, doing the club. I mean, I had one of the best DJ gigs in town, the Rivers Casino, before it went to shit. It was probably.
What do you mean? What happened to the Rivers?
They everything got out of hand there. It was probably the best paying gig in town, and I did it for 5 years. So like, I made a boatload of money off the casino. I only ever bet money once in the casino, and I left up. So.
Nice. Yeah, you can double up. That's the best part about the gig. You just put it all on black at the end of the night, and you double up. If they're giving you $750, you walk out with $1,500.
But yeah, I mean that's a story in itself.
If you win, you could also walk out with zero.
You can always blow your paycheck in one hand of blackjack, you know, which is
that's not the way to go.
It happens every second.
I like two different strategies. I'm actually pretty serious about blackjack. I don't count cards, but I know basic strategy very well.
Yeah.
And the two betting strategies that I employ, the first one is just to bet $5 every hand, $5, $10, $20, whatever it is, and never change.
Mm-hmm.
That works quite well because
incremental betting.
Yeah, you don't lose big amounts from one hand because
Sure.
Other than counting cards,
house always wins, but how much?
Right, and the chances of you winning each hand is about the same with each hand.
Mm-hmm.
Just like with roulette, if they hit 20 times in a row, the chances of hitting 20 the next time is exactly the same. It's not higher, it's not lower, whatever.
Right.
Did
you study this? What did you read some books on this shit?
I read a couple things. The other betting strategy that I employ, most people don't know about this one, but it's actually quite good, is to double your bet when you lose. So when you win, whenever you win, finally, even if you have $100 in there, let's say. So like let's say you start off with 5, you double 10, 20, 40, 80. You get up to 80, once you finally win, you take it back down to 5. And then if you lose, you go to 10, you lose again, you go to 20, lose again, you go to 40, lose again, you go to 80.
Right.
When you win, back down to 5.
Mm-hmm. The odds are in your favor at that point.
May the odds ever be in your favor.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
That's pretty solid.
We got to do, like, I love doing voice. Yeah, it's like I do freelance voiceover work and shit like that. But like one of my pipe dreams was to become like a voiceover actor, doing impressions and fucking cartoon voices.
Real Deal's son is really good. Do you know Real Deal?
No.
He's a battle rapper here. Probably one of the
Pittsburgh Cat.
Yeah, top 10 battle rappers maybe in America, maybe the world. I mean, he's a really serious battle rap dude for decades. And he's a PE teacher somewhere in the South Hills.
Wow.
And his son is a football player somewhere in the South Hills.
Yeah.
And also does voiceovers, or not voiceovers, impressions. He does an incredible Shaquille O'Neal. Really solid. And Obama.
I love that. I can't do shit.
Yeah, he can do Obama, a lot of cartoon characters I don't know. It's pretty solid stuff.
I'm working on it. I gotta put in work on something. Like everybody's doing Trump right now, and that's the best one to do. I think that's the most popular. I don't have a rap, so you got to have a rap. Like you have to have material if you're gonna do an impression.
Huge.
It's huge. And you got to use your hands. He talks with his hands as much as the bullshit that's coming out of his mouth. He's very animated.
People wanted to blow everything up. It's the same exact deal with Brexit, right? Tear it all down. People were angry. They were pissed off.
Yeah.
They wanted something.
Are we going down? Are we going down this path? Are we going down like a Titanic tour?
Ooh.
Too soon?
I think it's really sad.
What are we going to talk about?
That they all died.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like, that's devastating, especially for their families, but also
they signed up for it.
FOFO.
Fear of missing out.
Fuck around, find out.
Yeah, well, it's the same as Everest. That's how I.
Right. Yeah, it's a bunch of rich people throwing money around. I could go on the top.
Everest
of
is like $100,000-$200,000 to climb or something like that, probably more. And so, you have a shot at dying. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's all thrill seeking.
More extreme
when it comes down to it, but I mean, equally extreme. Highest peak on the planet.
Yeah,
lowest depths of the ocean.
Except that the Atlantic doesn't even get halfway as deep as the Pacific.
Yeah.
Marianas Trench.
Oh, yeah. It's true.
Epigee, the furthest point from the center of the earth.
Yeah.
As high as a whale can be. Yeah, it's sad that they died. But I think it's good that they went fast.
Dark humor.
It reminded me. I really like the humor piece. You keep it fun. The thing it reminded me of was the Hunley. So the Hunley sub was the first submarine to sink an opposing warship in battle.
Yeah.
It happened right here in America, in Charleston Harbor, in 1864. And the Housatonic was part of the Union blockade of the Charleston Harbor.
A submarine?
And a submarine Yeah.
We had subs back in the
Bro,
1800s?
this is about to blow your mind, isn't it?
Fuck.
Doesn't that just blow your mind? Listen to this. The submarine was powered by hand crank. It was operated by 6 men sitting just like, this is why it reminded me of it, because when they were sitting, crisscross applesauce.
Like the old Nordic ships.
They were like that. Yeah. They had to crank it like this. And each person had a little crank, and they cranked in order to make it go. They alternated, and they were cranking it. And then this is the wildest part. The torpedo that they used to sink the Housatonic.
Who's a what now?
The ship that they that they sank. It was on a fucking spike sticking off the nose of the submarine.
Oh yeah, so they had to battering ram that shit.
Close enough, light the fuse, get close enough,
header right into the other ship,
blow the damn thing. Yeah,
wow,
and then peel out.
How'd they peel out if it wasn't? Oh, I see what you're saying. They lit a fuse and then had to back out. Throw that shit in reverse.
It did have a reverse. It did. Yeah. But then they didn't make it home. They all died. That's why it's similar.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it will be because they were Confederates. It went to the bottom of the harbor.
But that's nothing.
But then they found it, and now it's in a museum in Charleston. You can go see it in North Charleston.
It's pretty wild,
man.
They
dug it out. Yeah, there's some wild stories. The craziest one. Listen to this one. One of the coolest coins, probably the most expensive coins in America, is a $20 gold piece, which was found on the personage of the captain of the CSS Hunley. The coin is significant, not only because it's a $20 gold coin, which is incredibly rare, but also because it's custom engraved. So he had engraved one of the sides.
Is it like a one of one?
Big time
one. An NFT way before its time.
This thing is beyond one of one. On the reverse, it says, "You are my savior," or "my saving grace." And on the front, they tested it. They found traces of lead. Why was there traces of lead on a gold coin underneath the ocean in Charleston Harbor for the last 200 years? Because this gold coin was something he wore in his chest pocket. And when he was in the Battle of Shiloh, he was shot. The gold coin stopped the bullet.
It hit the bullet. Yeah, it hit the coin.
And from then on, he kept it on his person.
So the lead from
saved his life.
The ball, because they were slugs back then.
Correct.
Essentially. Wow. It's pretty nuts, man.
Yeah,
you know your history.
I saw it. Well, I used to live in Charleston, and I have a great photo I'll post up on this of my dad looking at the coin. It's fantastic. Yeah. Do you all do any traveling? Does your daughter travel okay, or it's a little stressful?
Yeah, you know what? We just got back from Disney, and that was her favorite part of the vacation was the plane ride. Disney's fantastic, by the way. But
where did you guys go? Which parks? We
went down to Florida. Yeah, no, we did Magic Kingdom 2 days, and we did Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
1 day.
I love that tree. The tree at Animal Kingdom is mind-blowing.
Tree of life, yeah.
Whew. What a tree.
Shit.
I can't believe it's not real. It's sad.
I mean,
it looks good.
The thing that Disney is its own country. It's run like a country.
Ron DeSantis is about to put a stop to that.
The infrastructure, the logistics, I mean, it's all wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron DeSanctimonious. Total loser.
This is really good, man.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you there.
Nah.
You're still good.
Ryan was scratching it. I used to have it on the turntable here, and he was mixing it up. It's on the reel. The voices are really good.
I'm trying, man. I just fuck around.
Do you have a podcast?
Not right now. Like as soon as I got back to the being let go from radio, I immediately got into craft beer. This sort of all ties together. I got into the craft beer industry probably 5 years ago. Started making friends in that business. This is while I'm still at iHeart, still on KISS, doing the night show. I met all these guys. I met Andrew, the owner of Dancing. No, I met everybody, I invited them all up to the radio station, put them on, celebrating the craft beer community and how amazing it is. It's a lot like the DJ community. A lot of support, friends, this, that, the other thing.
Did you ever go to the beer exchanges with Ryan, with Basic Sickness? He used to go to these beer meetups all the time with these dudes that would trade these bottles. They used to go to pinball bars and trade bottles.
I don't know, Ryan. I mean, I've been aware of him for years, since you and I met, basically, because he was a pretty big name in the Pittsburgh rap scene when we were coming up. He was making waves. But I don't think I ever crossed paths with him, no.
Yeah. Mostly you were doing, you weren't really in the trenches trading bottles. You were more helping these people promote their companies and actually.
Yeah. At first, I was just an aficionado and a fan of all of these craft breweries. It's Pittsburgh centric, so awesome. I'm going to help promote these guys. It's something that I'm fond of. And
who are some of the people that you're excited about? Like some of the
in beer
breweries? Yeah.
Oh, Necromancer for sure. They are. I don't have any of their beer with me today, but that's the one that I worked for the better part of 2 years, and they are super progressive. They're a safe space for everyone. The beer is fucking fantastic, and they are rapidly expanding. Now, when I was there, it was a startup, which made it difficult because it was kind of like I was putting that effort in that I did at the radio station. It was like, spend day and night there, and maybe you'll get a shot at learning how to brew on the big boy equipment, the big girl equipment.
Is that something you wanted to do?
I did, yeah. Like my goal, my 5-year plan was to open a brewery of my own.
Whoa.
And, it takes a lot of capital and it takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of experience. I know there's some people that just they're like, got a few bucks in the bank and they're like, let's open a brewery, and then it's a waking nightmare for them.
The dude to partner up with is my buddy Alex Segan. He's won like 2 or 3 homebrewer competitions already in New York.
Oh, yeah.
He's real serious about it. And I guess that would be my argument. You know how you said that all you need is some like equipment and just throw it together and start your podcast? Why not just start brewing, right? I mean, what do you really need to make a little batch?
I did that. I started brewing at home. I started making my own beer at home. And then I had an opportunity to go to work for Necromancer. We interviewed them on. So I'm leading. This is all cyclical. I started a podcast while I was still at the radio station. Like I said, PGH Beercast is what it was called. I got laid off and I joined up with sort of a guy, like a peripheral friend. I didn't know him personally. His name is Ryan Galliotto. He's a certified financial planner, and he also runs Fueled by Hops, which is a really big network of craft beer nerds. We did a podcast for a couple years. He's got 30,000 people in his Facebook group, lots of subscribers.
Cool.
He does it well, man. He promotes and plans a lot of beer festivals around Pittsburgh and out of town as well. So he and I linked up, and I was sort of the host of that, and he was the color guy, So I used my radio experience and my production skills to build his show.
Yeah.
And hosted it.
I feel like you're the color guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm the one that steers the ship. I steer the ship, and this is another reason why I was so eager to come here and interview with you, because I'm usually the one doing the interviewing. For 20 years, I'm always the one asking questions.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to be on the other side of the mic.
Yeah, even though I've asked like 0 questions so far.
No, you have. Listen, I like to talk, so we're gonna get caught in the weeds here, I think, a few times. But anyhow, I interviewed.
Here's to the weeds, Scott.
Here's to the weeds of all kinds.
Amen.
We interviewed the Necromancer people. Said, hey, I'm looking to get into the industry. I'll come mop the floors, shovel the spent grain, whatever. Once you guys get the operation off the floor. I was there the day it opened. They were like, hey, you still interested? Sure. So came back the next week, interviewed on a Tuesday, and I was working on a Wednesday. So I gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience really quickly, spent a lot of time there, and quickly realized I enjoy drinking it much more than making it. So.
Yeah, I respect that. I think it's ultimately it's like chemistry, right?
Sure. Yep.
Like, isn't that the whole deal?
It is. It's a slow-moving chemical reaction.
Yeah.
In essence.
And you like fuck up one thing, and your whole batch is gone, and you have to start over again.
And it's a lot of
hundreds of liters of water. Just down the drain.
Yeah. In a startup, it's smaller batches, but they've already expanded. But still, even if you fuck up a small batch, it's like you're looking at $10,000 down the toilet.
Do you ever go to Asheville?
No, but that's like a beer mecca. I've never been there.
Spot, man. They have a place. They have a. When you said Necromancer, I was thinking about Burial.
Burial beer. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a really
OGs
really
in the
cool
game,
spot.
man. They do fantastic
the
stuff.
Funkatorium, Wicked Weed Funkatorium. Who else do I like out there? There's so many.
The Answer.
Cool spot.
Did you ever go to The Answer? That's a North Carolina one. Yeah.
No. Is it a brewery or is it like a place to drink?
No, it's a brewery. They do. They make some of the best beer in the country.
The Answer is a cool shoe. It's one of Allen Iverson's shoes.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
It's a Reebok.
Mm.
I have it downstairs.
I gotta see that shit.
Yeah.
I'm becoming. I'm becoming a sneakerhead. Like.
Ooh, nice.
Through just over time. You know.
What do you like?
I like comfortable shoes. That's for sure.
Don't wear the Answer.
No.
Or Reeboks in general. I think the only really comfy Reeboks are like the Pump. Like the original Pump to me is quite comfy.
And there's a resurgence of those right now. I see ads on Instagram all the time for the Pump. I'm like,
But now they're trying to put pumps on just
everything.
Like the Reebok Classic, and it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Not exciting. Not excited about it. But I just always wanted to be different. I didn't want to be that same Nike dude.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's got a pair of Dunks, SBs.
Right. Right. It's a little too basic.
I like a comfortable shoe though. So I got a few friends that are in the shoe game that I can get some sneakers from.
Wade Anthony was heavy in that.
Yeah.
He still has a few pairs, as far as I know. He had a shop.
I was never like a Jace guy. I was never like a huge. I got a couple pairs of Jordans, but I was never like. I don't know. I don't know what. I'm still sort of figuring that out. What I like.
What you're gonna be.
Because I'm late to the game for sure, but.
Not that late. That's the other thing. A lot of people talk like, you were talking about starting a brewery. I was talking about starting a podcast. And a lot of people will have this idea that, oh, that's already been done.
Mm-hmm.
You're done. You're late to the table. Like the opportunity's gone. That's insane. First of all, there is so much room for quality.
Sure. Yeah.
If you have an original idea, an original thought, if you're actually consistent,
your own take
passionate,
on something that exists. Yeah.
If there's something that wakes you up at 5 o'clock in the morning while your kids are still asleep and gets you upstairs editing episodes and has you, downloading MP3s under the covers in LimeWire and organizing your mix and practicing your cuts and trying out a new recipe of chocolate and peanut butter and bacon to try to impress somebody and sending off emails in the middle of the night to try to get a recipe.
Speaking of yourself, of course, right? I mean, this is you're talking about.
This is both of us. This is everybody. This is anybody who's ever been inspired, right? Then do it.
Mm-hmm.
Go after it. Grab the bull by the balls.
Yeah.
Take life by the horns.
I
don't know if you should grab a bull by the ball. I feel like
by the balls. No, that's a bad idea. You get marked over that shit. You catch
the last set of balls you grab. There was this great vet show.
Hands off.
In the Yukon vet on is it National Geographic or Disney? She does some wild things with her arms, man.
Shoulder deep in some heifers. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bison. She had her whole arm up the bison's ass, and she was trying to stimulate
a prostate
insemination. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She had to put her arm in there, I think, to insert a probe that was like also like about this big around. If for the people who are just listening,
that's nothing.
We're talking.
It's like twice as thick as this microphone.
7 or 8 inches in diameter, and it was absolutely terrifying. And the crazy part was I was watching with my son, who's almost 4, and I'm like, "Is this appropriate?" Like, he doesn't know what's going on.
It is nature.
It was nature, but it was also sick.
Yeah.
There's shit everywhere.
Fucking Tom Green.
Semen, shit, just everywhere.
You remember that scene?
Blood. There was blood. Yeah, oh, Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Yeah, where he's jerking the horse.
Well, yeah. Isn't that it's cool for Tom Green to hump a dead moose is the Eminem line, right? My bum is on your lips, my bum is on your lips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting, right? The double standards in terms of what's allowable and what's not. In America, we have this whole fixation on nudity.
Mm-hmm.
So if you show a nipple,
you're
done. But it's okay if it's a dude's nipple. It's like, okay.
That's kind of weird.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Europe, they don't. But meanwhile, we just show people just getting blown away all day on TV. No problem. Mm-hmm. What's TV anymore?
Violence, yeah.
But yeah, violence is cool.
Gratuitous violence.
Gratuitous violence, cool. You can watch unedited, uncensored, Scarface, Godfather, whatever,
mm-hmm.
John Wick, right?
Yeah.
Just uncensored on your TV, but you can't.
in those goddamn video
see a
games.
Boob, you gotta. What was it like? The halftime show, and Justin Timberlake is like,
oh yeah,
such a huge
Janet
deal
Jackson.
to pull out a boob, and it's like,
everybody got sued for that.
what do you think the Europeans thought about that? Where it's just not an issue. For them, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
The violence is the problem, but the nudity is just part of life.
Natural.
Yeah, we're very puritanical in America. I think that's ultimately what it is. It has to do with our history of Puritanism and being like a very religious country. We're much more religious than we want to admit.
Oh, for sure.
Time only goes in one direction. That's one of the really interesting things about life, isn't it? How time only goes straight, and you just get older and older, and then you die.
Now you're bumming me out.
It's a little memento mori for you.
Yeah.
It's good for you to remember.
Sure is. Live in the now, man.
That's, I think, the hardest thing to do. People really struggle with this. Focusing in on the moment. I think that's what anxiety is, right? Anxiety about the future. That's really what anxiety is.
Yeah.
Or you could be anxious about the past. You can have repetitive thoughts about what you should have done, what could have done.
That's true.
But either way, it's just not being present.
Mm-hmm.
That's all anxiety is. Depression, different. I don't really know how to think about depression in terms of past, present, and future. You're sacrificing your future to wallow in the present, sort of.
Absolutely, yeah. Do you think that depression is more genetic, or is it more, outside, environmental influence, outside influence?
Yeah, or like some people would say, willpower, right? I mean, there's probably some like nuts who think that you can just like snap out of it and, stop being so fucking sad.
Stop drinking, stop smoking.
Well, yeah, those things you can definitely do. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So if there's things that are making you depressed, like waking up every morning with your cell phone, sitting there and scrolling through pictures of people who have better lives than you, comparing yourself to others, like there's a lot of things you can do to not if you're doing those things, absolutely. You can snap out of that. You can start exercising, change your diet around. I think diet is huge. People don't think nearly enough about the food that they eat.
It's insane.
In terms of what it does to their mood.
Or don't eat. Do you fast?
Yeah, I fast every day.
Yeah, me too.
What's your ratio?
16:8, I think.
Yep, same. So what hours do you eat?
After 2:00, I'm good until about 9 or 10.
2 to 10. 10 for me is way too late to eat because I get refluxy if I eat too close to bed.
I used to. Not overindulging in this
helps a lot,
tasty bev here. Helps a lot, but yeah.
Noon. I can't make it past noon. Once I get to like 1 p.m., I start getting really hangry.
Yeah, I get frustrated by everything by 2 p.m.
Yep. So I eat at noon and then I stop eating at 8 is my ratio. Try to
go
be
to
in bed
Disney.
by 10.
Have you been to Disney?
Oh yeah, we're kind of a big Disney family. Rigel's been twice. He's only 3, or has he been 3 times? One time we just did Universal. Yeah. So it's like Disney, Orlando.
I mean, I ate and drank my face off down there, and I still lost like close to 10 pounds
because of all the walking.
Yeah, you never stop moving, even on off day. We went to the park every other day, and the other days we just stayed. We stayed on Animal Kingdom, which was nice. You walk out on your balcony, and there's a fucking giraffe eating out of the tree right,
some
below
crazy
you.
rides there. The like Himalaya joint. Did you ride on that one?
Yeah,
love that one. I love the fake. How you get up to the top and you think you're gonna keep going and they drop you backwards.
It's an Everest. What's it called? Exploration Everest or something like that.
Yeah, Expedition. And
Expedition Everest. Yeah,
I love the care that they put into all of them. Just how everything is decorated.
They didn't miss a detail.
There. Yeah.
You could eat off the floor. Off the ground there.
Yeah, it's clean. Do you guys eat at the nice restaurants, or do you go in the cafeteria?
Yeah, so the days off, we did, breakfast with Cinderella in the Magic Kingdom Palace, and what was the other one? I think we did 3 of them. We did the Beast Castle. We had lunch with the Beast. I mean,
you eat roast beast.
I did have beast, whatever you want to call it.
Steak. The the restaurants, I think a lot of people don't realize who don't go are actually phenomenal. Like
Mm-hmm.
the cafeterias are trash, like not good. And except sometimes, like some of them aren't really cafeterias. Like when you're in Harry Potter world
Yeah.
and you go to the Leaky Cauldron or whatever, that's a tasty fish and chips. Like it's a little salty,
Mm-hmm.
but it's delicious with the little butter beer.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. And yes, there is butter beer. And yes, I do have my wand right back here. Mad Eye Moody. Don't ask
Don't look
questions.
at it.
Oh no, you can pull it out.
Don't look at it.
Go ahead, pull it out. It's right in this store. There's some wild shit in there. I have like my Nicolas Cage shrine in there too. Yeah, there's a copy of Face Off in there. So and like a 1-of-1. Well, it's not a 1-of-1, but it's a fairly rare zine about Nicolas Cage too, like a hand drawn zine.
Fascinating guy.
Yeah. That guy I would love to have on here. That would be so sick. He needs to do Rogan.
He
so
might
bad.
do it.
Dude, he needs to do Rogan so bad. Oh my god. Yeah, Nick Cage is wild. But what I wanted to tell you is that the restaurants are really good. Like when you actually go and it's like Moroccan food, they have Moroccan entertainment.
Yeah.
They have every one of them has an amazing show while you eat. Dinner shows used to be a real thing. That was the way that people entertained themselves in the 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. There was this idea of like in Atlanta, in Detroit, of this idea of a supper club where you'd sit down, you'd eat, you'd have some entertainment,
music and dancing, and then there would be some sort of show. Yeah,
exactly. That was kind of like your pastime. That was your way of relaxing at the end of a long week. And
yeah, we fucked with that hard, man. We did a lot of those sort of like experiential meals there, and it was fantastic, dude.
Yeah,
I was nervous about it. There's a lot of anxiety that goes into planning a Disney trip. It's not like when we were kids and went, it's all on the app now. It's all the magic bands and shit. And like, if you're not on it,
you got to plan it out.
You don't get to see all of Disney.
You're not going to, I think a lot of people probably listening won't know this either, but you have to plan it out. If you don't have booking at the restaurant, you're going to be eating at the cafeteria.
We're talking 6 months, 90 days out too,
100%. Yeah.
As soon as you get the window, you got to take advantage of it because you don't, you're missing it.
For sure.
Yeah. Disney, so this is kind of bringing me back to like dad mode, This sort of altered my career. I think that's where the path we were originally going down. And it was like, I could become a better DJ and sink all of my time into this, but I chose.
Why do you think you did it?
That's how I was raised, man. Family was everything, Respect, mom and dad, your elders. We spent so much time with our family growing up. Every summer we'd spend every weekend with the whole the whole family, whoever's in town anyway. We got a piece of property up in Slippery Rock, PA, right on the creek. I mean, it's a slice of heaven for me. You know what I mean?
That's the camp?
Yeah.
And where exactly did you grow up?
I'm in the North Hills area. I born and raised Pittsburgh, North Hills. Yeah, Shaler. Went to Shaler High School. Shout out to the Titans, state champs, baseball. They just won the state championship.
You wanted to go to Pitt, stay close to family?
Nah, actually, I was going to be a teacher. I was going to be an art teacher. I got a scholarship for art. So I went to Edinburgh for art education. Aced all of my arts, all of the mechanical classes, pottery, welding, photography, pencil drawing, caricature, gesture, you name it. Wow. I aced all that shit, and then I got to theory, and it was like 1 in 5 teachers get stabbed in their first year of teaching, and I was just like, okay, I don't know if that's worth a summer off.
What's the name of that, the movie where the white teacher goes and teaches in the projects or whatever, like Criminal Minds?
Dangerous Minds.
Yeah. Pretty funny.
Well, it's teachers are so valuable. Teachers are the most underappreciated, probably the most underappreciated, job
after medical resident during the pandemic. Yes.
Yeah.
They literally just sent us out there with little cell phones to take videos of the patient to show to our bosses who were hanging out on their couches because they didn't feel like coming to work.
Jesus Christ. They're like, oh, yep, that one's sick. Get him in.
Let's say this: they didn't want to get sick. People didn't know what was going on, and there was this
Did
idea.
they or didn't they?
Yeah, there was this idea that if the attendings got sick, then there would be nobody to take care of the patients.
Fucked, yeah.
But they didn't realize that they weren't taking care of the patients at all. It was just
Right.
us.
Mm-hmm.
And the weirdest part, this is the one thing that I still don't understand at all. Nobody got sick at the hospital.
No.
I don't know one person who got COVID.
Where were
hospital.
You? At the
Charleston.
Apex? Yeah, okay, you were in South Carolina.
Yeah, just South Carolina for the whole thing, which was not that bad.
Right.
know?
Yeah, I've heard you say this on the podcast plenty of times. You're
all
like,
things considered.
up here was lockdown.
But
city.
in terms of no, not even talking about lockdowns. I'm talking about the pandemic. Like the actual pandemic in Charleston wasn't that big, wasn't that terrible
Right.
because it's not that big of a city. The big cities had it bad where it was crowded.
Sure.
New York City.
Yeah.
It's like you can't escape it.
And what's the average temperature? They said in warmer states things tend to fare better with COVID.
Interesting. I did not know that. That is so fascinating. Yeah, Charleston's hot.
Yeah.
It's like Florida. It's hot. Just north of
Florida. that was sort of the consensus for a while. It was like, yeah, Florida, anything below the Mason-Dixon, anything below like Tennessee.
That's probably some bullshit that they tried to say in order to take away from Ron DeSantis' excellent management of his state during the pandemic.
Holy shit.
Try to say, oh, it was the weather that saved everybody. No, it's the fact that he didn't send them all to the nursing homes with COVID to go infect everybody and murder them all. Like, no, sorry, no, that's Gavin. No. Did you bring me any more beers? Or
I did, yeah.
Or what's next?
Oh, whatever.
Do you want one of my ranch waters?
Fuck yeah.
Prickly
I love ranch
pear,
water.
hard spell. I've got 3 different flavors. This one's agave nectar and
pear.
Yeah.
We've got I got New Trail, which is a Pennsylvania brewery.
Oh, cool. I love that you're doing all you can put it on the iPad if you want. That's where it goes.
Just set it there for a second.
No, that's actually your drink holder is my iPad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really old. It's like a Series 2.
You want to try that one?
Thanks, man.
That's Camp Hill, PA, which is out the Turnpike. You should take the Turnpike out there. Yeah, it's a few miles out there past Donegal. Yeah, Seven Springs.
If I miss the exit, where should I turn?
You can't do it. You can't.
I can get into it though. No, it's not bad. It's not bad. You'll hear it after another year in Pittsburgh.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Do some ASMR drinking.
Yeah.
For the consumer.
Oh, this is good. It's Williamsport, PA. So I've got a lot of Williamsport stories. When I went to Pitt, I used to date Pitt girls. And one of them was from Williamsport. She was the valedictorian and the prom queen.
Wow. A
Yeah.
lot going for her.
Yeah, she had a lot going on. She's a pediatrician now, I think. Yeah.
Where's this going?
Her mom, I went there and her mom made me one of the best meals I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about dating was going to their houses and getting the meals.
The at-homes.
Oof, the meals that they prepare you because they're trying to court you, right? They're trying to win you over and trying to convince you that like they can cook because they only have one chance, right? This is their one chance to prove to you that this is that like you want to spend the rest of your life hanging out with them. And so she made these chicken cutlets, which I'll never forget. First of all, I didn't grow up eating meat, so I don't know anything about meat.
Well, was she? Let me ask you this: would it have worked? Was she Jewish?
Grace isn't Jewish.
And okay, so
my kids aren't Jewish.
You don't. Okay,
like
that wasn't a. I know. Isn't that a thing? Like
for
Jewish people need to marry Jewish people.
I guess
in the old world. No, I always thought.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think my parents would have been more excited if I brought home a Jewish girl.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, which is weird, right? Like, why do we give a shit about this?
Arranged marriages are fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean? It's really weird.
And that's how it went for a super long period of time in our history.
But by that same token, or maybe to contradict that, I would say it is kind of nice having something in common with the person you're going to be spending the rest of your life with.
Sure.
There's probably a reason that we're supposed to marry Jewish people. I guess you kind of preserve this
lineage.
Yeah, you're preserving tradition,
religion, tradition. Yeah,
keeping that. But for me, it wasn't high on my priority
sure.
list. Let me put it that way. But man, eating these meals. All right,
back to the chicken cutlets.
She takes this hammer, this like wooden hammer, and starts beating these little chicken cutlets. And they're only that special part of the chicken. That's the most tender part. It's not the breast. It's the underbreast.
Yeah.
It's this little flap of little beautiful meat that hangs out underneath. And she beat them all until they were about a 1/4 inch thin and totally flat. Then she put them into paper, like, I don't know, wax paper or parchment paper.
Yeah.
And waited for them to dry out in the fridge. Then she took them back out, had an egg bath, washed those little motherfuckers in the egg.
Throw some flour on them.
Well, it was breadcrumbs. Then she had the breadcrumb.
Yeah.
Then she fried those things. Oh my God. Then it was the homemade. This whole time she had the sauce going with the ragu.
I'm like taking off my clothes right now, dude.
And then it was the cheese, the fresh cheese.
Oh God. There is a fried piece of chicken cheese, if it's done right.
It was, I guess, what the dish was, like chicken parmesan, right? It was like one of the best things I ever ate. And that was special with the grated Parmesan over the top after all the mozzarella and everything. But that one was amazing. She was cool. Shout out to...
That's a far way to drive, though, huh? Williamsport.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fun. What was it, like 2.5 hours? That's where the Little League World Series is.
Yeah. It's like 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, so that was cool. She was... I can't believe I said her name, but I'll delete it out. She had issues because her dad had died, like, early on in her life, like at the age of 5, 6, 7 or something like that. And so it was always like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
You're never right.
That leads to some...
You're not right.
Some things later on, some tings.
Yeah, that's tough. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And then the other second best courtship meal I had, Pit Girl. Really cool one. This one's also married with kids, doing great. Shout out to her. Not gonna drop her name, but man, I went to her mom and dad's house, and her dad cooked. So this time it was the dad.
Mm-hmm.
He made lamb, like a lamb kebab, not kebab. Sorry, lamb,
like
lamb
skewer?
chops. No, chops, like those little.
With the little curved end on it, the bone sticking out the back.
Oh yeah, the bone. And man, with the wine and the lamb and the
like a
red wine,
a red wine reduction.
I had never had really lamb before. That shit was crazy. So that was special. And then she had me DJ for her at this camp for kids with Crohn's in Philadelphia. It was actually a lot of shit.
Sorry. No, that shit's fucked up. Crohn's is fucked up. You don't. Yeah.
Yeah. But the camp was actually really cool. Like, it was pretty awesome that there was a place that people could go and like be around other people like them. And I guess she had gone when she was a kid, so it was special to her. And I'm sure I gave them a very good deal.
Gotta find something, man. I don't know. Yeah, give back.
Do you have? I guess you have the autism charity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find mine. I had a good idea, though. Ryan gave me a crazy idea. I hope nobody steals this, but it was the idea of recording people's lives, not you and me, but like just anyone.
Recording a keepsake for somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to do that with my own family. While that, I want to get my parents in front of a microphone and a camera while they still got it. My parents are in good shape. Don't get me wrong, but like. There's so much that's we talked about keeping that lineage alive and keeping that tradition alive. There's so much that gets lost when a generation passes,
It's incredible, yeah.
I'm learning shit about my family right now. I had a conversation with my dad recently that was just kind of mind-blowing. I never knew my grandmother on my dad's side. I was a year and a half maybe when she passed. And she was a piece of work, my family on that side is sort of fragmented because of how ominous her presence was and like how overbearing she was. And like I have one aunt that hasn't been divorced on that side of the family, and it's a big family. That sort of stuff good or bad, plays into who you are as a person and how you raise your kids and how you operate as a human being. So, like, I was having a conversation with my dad and my wife the other day up at Slippery Rock, up at camp. We were up camp just this past weekend, and it's like some heavy shit, that just never gets talked about unless you dig, unless you do the work. Again, like, do the work. Get kids, do the work. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, do the work and dig.
Spend time with your family and get those stories. Even if you don't think your family's that cool, they have a lot to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, a lot to teach you about who you are, why you are the way you are.
Good or bad, yeah. It is a thing.
Well, what specifically did she do that drove people apart?
She was a fucking cunt. I don't know how else to say it. She had favorites. She was shitty to my grandfather. I wasn't of cognizant mind to sort of do that shit on, figure that shit out on my own. I'm getting all the information secondhand, but apparently she was a tough cookie. She was hard to deal with. Did I just call my grandmother a cunt?
Yeah, you did, but you never met her, man. It's all good.
No, I met her.
Well,
I'm sure she held me at some point. I'm glad she didn't drop me, or maybe she did. I don't know.
Do you have pictures of you two together?
Yeah. I'm sure. I know I've seen a picture of her holding me. Yeah, for sure. So
what are you doing now? Are you doing corporate gigs or the Penguins? Or
Penguins,
what do you do?
man. Penguins.
Penguins is your life.
Yeah.
But what about when it's not season? Like right now, what do you do?
I'm working on shit for them right now. Pete and I are, Pete's my ace. He's my dude. He's a guy to lean on. Who's still connected to the DJ community in a way that I'm not. I've made my peace with, the city in terms, I'm not doing nightclubs anymore. I did some nightclubs before the pandemic hit, and, I'm still doing weddings and corporate gigs and stuff like that. But Pens is like really what fuels my fire. They're an amazing organization to work for. I do some work for the Panthers and the Steelers, of course, with Digital Dave. Shout out. But
Can't wait to get him on.
Yeah.
Tell him how corny I think he is. Kidding.
He's a wealth of knowledge, man. Like the dude is. He's taken the business of DJing to a different level for sure, and I got mad respect for Dave. He's another dude that I can lean on. He leans on me for help all the time, and that's one of the things about the community here in Pittsburgh is that it's there are a lot of cats that you can, and there's some haters too. It's both ends of the spectrum, but there's a lot of dudes that really get down and pull for each other and help each other out when needed.
I think you're right. It's a tight knit community. I had such a good time chopping it up with Nugget last night.
Yeah,
Kari Mosley, Dap was there.
Yeah,
it was a cool new party. Goldmark. I feel old though. I feel so old there. My God, I just feel out of place. I walk up to the bar and I'm like,
Kanye shrug.
Nicole, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm here with children.
Stand along the wall. Yeah, that's all you can do is to back up against the wall and just watch.
Yeah. I'm at a place where I can't decide if I want to start DJing again or just like be a parent to my children.
Well, the good thing for you is you could get in the Goldmark whenever you want, and that's the spot. It seems like every other place in town is hip hop forward, which is great, but I am a cut from the cloth of the open format DJ, so I like to play a little bit of everything. And you can still do that at Goldmark and get away with it pretty easily,
Yeah.
I don't know many spots that aren't one lane.
I don't ever want to be in one lane unless I'm doing a mix, in which case,
sure,
I like the concept.
And that's fine.
Concept.
Yeah, you can pick a focus, pick a point and focus on it. That's fine. I know, that's how clubs make their money. A lot of the times, and even at the Goldmark, they have an electro night or a hip hop night or whatever, however they want to market it. But
yeah,
I like the
I like reading the dance floor. Whatever happened to people knowing how to read the dance floor? That shit is a lost art.
It is.
Nugget is the best at that. I think Nugget might be the best in Pittsburgh for that shit.
Yeah,
crazy.
He's
Dave's solid too. I haven't seen Dave rock in a while, but I remember seeing him in Boston holding it down. He used to play like whatever city I was living in, he'd be coming through.
Yeah, he travels. Man. He's again like you come to a point in your career where it's like I can do this or I can do this, and Dave was like, I'm going all in on DJing, and he's killing it. He makes a lot of money. He travels the country. He's doing weddings and clubs, and they're all big. They're all big deals. You know what I mean? And then you have people like Bonics who took it even further, who get in with the right people, supreme talent, and now he's traveling the world with Wiz Khalifa, you know?
Sure. But don't you think that he'd be happier if he was his own thing? If he was his own, like, star?
He is in a lot of ways. Because every city that he goes to, he's on stage with Wiz, and he's got his own feature night at whatever the hottest club in that city is. You know? He's the king of Vegas right now, you know?
He's just such a monumental talent to me, though. That's the only thing. You know, I know because you also mentored under him that you get it.
That's my guy, yeah.
This is somebody who absolutely could be one of like a superstar, like a DJ AM type, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that, how that would translate in his head. You know what I mean? I'm sure, I know he's happy, and I think that's the most important part, you know?
I wonder if family would provide him like that missing piece, kind of like how for you and me, we both said like, we don't have to be the top DJ.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay just to have a family, provide for them.
Still rock a party.
Still love music.
Still
be able to rock like a private gig or whatever if we want to, but there's a balance. I wonder if that would...
I know you don't like weddings.
Quench that fire a little bit.
You don't like weddings, do you? I don't either.
I'm not like a big fan of feeling like a servant. You know, when I do some of those shows, when I do some of those gigs, I feel really like part of the help.
Yeah.
And when people look at me as kind of like, you know, whatever. I mean, I get it. It's capitalism, you know, but it reminds me of during COVID when you'd be at a restaurant and you'd be taking your mask off and the wait staff would come up with a mask on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You'd kind of like look at them as
what's happening here
on a lower tier. That's how I felt when I was DJing weddings. I felt like I was somebody's bitch. Like, the bride could come up and be like, change the song. You know, the groom could come up and be like, change the song.
Yeah.
But
that can happen anywhere. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to think what it would take to get me to play a wedding right now. And I think...
money. That's the answer.
It would take more than $5,000 for me to pack up these turntables and take them anywhere. I'd do it for $6,000. I don't think I would do it for $5,000.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know what people are charging for weddings these days. And I would not bring anything else. I'm talking, you're renting the speakers, you're renting the cables, you're setting that shit up with your friends. You can go on YouTube.
I have a price that I don't leave the house for. Yeah, for sure.
You're getting the lights. I'm not installing lights. There's no meetings beforehand.
Yeah.
There's no list of songs that are approved and unapproved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to hate me. This is going to be the worst fucking wedding. I played one in Charleston not too long ago. It was actually pretty cool. It was fun because it was one of my best friends.
Well, yeah, that's where I've gone with it.
Like, I didn't charge him. You know what I mean? It was free. Just like, it's my wedding gift.
Yeah, friends and family, they get a bit of a discount. I still charge those motherfuckers too. Yeah, ain't nothing for free.
Yeah, I think
except for charity work. You know,
like true charity work where you're totally donating it. But even then, it should be a write-off, right? You should like bill them, but count it as a donation or something. Bill them and then you pay it as a donation, something like that.
1,000 ways to skin a cat. Weddings, man. Fuck weddings.
You hate them too?
Oh, I do. I fucking hate them. It's a love-hate relationship. Like a lot of the, a lot of the things in my life, I fucking hate them, but it's great money.
Yeah.
And
how many are you playing now? Dozen or something?
Yeah,
are you Plenty?
Yeah.
Are you part of the Plenty agency?
No, I'm doing everything on my own. I was working with Modern Era, and that just became.
Who's that? Is that Dave?
No, that's Mike.
Oh, Mad Mike?
Mad Mike, yeah.
Dude, that's wild that he's still doing weddings in Pittsburgh from Florida.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
What a guy. That guy has crazy energy.
He goes all around, man. He goes all around. Shout out to that dude. He was good to me. Yeah. I just, I was doing weddings in, BFE, in the middle of nowhere. And I was having a big chunk taken out of my paycheck. So I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, I think Climax talked some serious numbers about like what comes out. I don't know if he was specific on the podcast though, but obviously if somebody is helping you get gigs, they're going to want a cut.
Yeah, sure. I understand, but almost half? No fucking way.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That seems exorbitant.
Even the Shenderovich twins are they're only taking 40%. We've got your back, not your wallet.
The impressions are so
Those
good.
Dudes are cool. I've met those guys before. Yeah.
Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby or
Shenderovich and Fishman.
Yeah. You sound like Malkin though.
Oh yeah. Well, they're Russian. The Shenderovich twins.
Yes. Da.
I may, has big taste.
Delicious. I love the taste when it hits the lips.
Is that the fucking ugliest language or what? Russian is probably the most disgusting fucking language on the planet.
People are always talking shit on German. And I think German's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm partial to it.
I don't know any German. Yeah. My last name is actually the name of a town in between Berlin and Munich.
Oh, cool. We had a house in Germany we had to sell. It was miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad
crazy.
Market.
Well, yeah, that and it was being used as like a toxic waste dump.
Oh,
so we got murdered on the cleanup costs.
Ouch.
It was in Leipzig. And it was, I think, given to my cousin by like the German government because they tried to kill him or whatever.
Oh, yeah. So like,
here's a house.
Yeah. Here, forget about that. Take this piece of property next to a toxic waste dump. What the fuck? What is wrong with us? I think we are the virus. We are the virus on this planet.
Humans?
Yes.
Yeah, I think about that. It's really interesting.
I think the best thing that could happen for us is if an asteroid hit the planet.
I'm going to see Asteroid City tonight. That's what we're doing next. I can't wait.
What is that movie about? Yeah, it's a Wes Anderson movie. I knew that. I don't know what the plot line is.
No, I never look at these things up in beforehand. I don't believe in. I don't even like to watch the trailer before I watch the movie. Yeah.
This ranch water is fucking badass.
Isn't that sick?
I've never had the ranch water per se. Topo Chico. I've
had
that before.
I got a Topo down here too.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Yeah, man.
So what else? What do you want to dive into next? Do we have some more stuff to talk about?
Do you have any other hobbies?
Yeah, I love woodworking.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I make a lot of furniture. I make a lot of. I built the addition on my house. We put an addition on a few summers ago, which it was a porch addition. But I did concrete work for about 6 years of my life between high school and college.
Holy shit.
But yeah, I started construction when I was 11, like literally 11 years old, digging ditches and tarring foundations for an excavator. My old man was a Ryan Holmes guy for 40 years, so I had a different job every summer until I was able to drive, and then I would get out of school and go work in the PM hours, and then got into college. When I was off college, I would work full-time construction, and then got into radio. There was a span, Bonics could tell you about this, because I was a fucking zombie. I would work a construction job 6 a.m. to about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Come home, get a shower, eat something, go into the radio station, voice track my overnight. I was overnights at the time when I started out early. So 12, whatever was it, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Voice track that.
Do you mean that the people that are calling into the radio show that I hear when I'm listening to the radio aren't actually talking?
Yeah. And then I would follow Brandon, or I would follow Bonics around to Diesel, whatever nightclub he was DJing at, and that's where I got the chops DJing. Was just following him around.
Yeah, the best one he does. I'm just gonna put this out there for everybody. My favorite Bonics transition goes from Apache, jump on it, into push it. This is number one. The second best one goes from it goes into
is it the Biggie transition?
No.
It's your thing into Alexa, take notes.
No, that's good. But it's
what should the note say?
Alexa,
okay, I've saved your note.
Did y'all hear that?
It's Apache, jump on it into don't stop till you get. Is it Don't Stop Till You Get Enough? The Michael Jackson.
It's close in BPM.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He's a master, man. He's like I heard you talking with I don't even remember who it is now, but those late night sessions up on Mount Washington, late night cut sessions after the club.
You were up there with us. With
I fell asleep on the love sack every fucking night, man. Like
that's crazy that I don't remember you being there.
We were out even Mondays. I'm trying to think. Like I did Town Tavern Tuesdays.
Shit, Town Tavern. Do you remember Jeff Reed?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You used to party with Jeff Reed?
I never partied with him, but those
DJ'd for him.
In 2009, like the Penguins were in Town Tavern all the time.
Yeah.
Like Sydney, Jordan Stahl, all those, like
and Ben used to go out too. Ben would be at the S Bar and before the Georgia situation.
Incident.
Yeah, that really slowed things down for his partying days. They had to find him a wife and everything.
They had to set him up. Straighten them out.
I mean, it's just wild. There's like all these tiers, right? My tier, which is like, nobody's watching, nobody cares. And then the $135 million a year tier, where they just have handlers on handlers. Like your handlers have handlers.
You can't be on your own anymore at that point. You're an investment.
Joe Biden putting his hand over his chest, over his heart for the Indian national anthem, and then his handlers in his little earpiece, like, "Bruh, take that shit down. That's not our national anthem."
National anthem. Oh, fuck, we're doomed, right? Asteroid. That's what I'm saying. Asteroid City.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hit right here.
Not Dormont. I got kids, man. No, I actually think that humans are the opposite of the virus. I think that we're going to save this planet, possibly. That we're going to expand beyond this planet. I mean,
I appreciate your optimism.
Yeah, I'm not a climate apocalypse person. I think climate is changing, but I don't think
you don't.
I don't think we're all going to die in 10 years.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they said that 10 years ago, and we're not dead. So that's.
Well, sure. Aside from an extinction level event, somebody's going to be around.
Yeah, the extinction level events are a big deal. So that's why we need to end the war in Ukraine. Like, that's not good, right? We shouldn't have wars between global powers that have nuclear weapons. That's not good. And then we need to deal with this solar flare situation.
That's what I was going to say. Like, if it's not the sun, then what?
Asteroids would be bad. Like planet killer asteroid would be bad. But we do have some technology for that.
Good thing we have the Space Force.
Thank you,
Taxpayer
Trump.
dollars at work, bro.
Can you do Trump talking about Space Force?
The Space Force. It's absolutely amazing. We've got these lasers. They're out in space. We're never going to die.
It's giant fucking
I lose
beam.
it. I lose it.
No, that's really good. It's amazing. So happy to have you on, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Fucking fantastic. I think we could do like another 2 hours
8.
for sure.
Oh, easily.
There are a lot of things that we have not touched on yet.
We didn't even tell any of the stories from our lives. We didn't talk about Barroom. We have photos together at Barroom
Oh, yeah.
where you're sitting there working the what were you,
Broadcast equipment.
is that what it was?
I used to host the show, and Brandon would DJ, and we kind of pass it off. That's I got to being with Brandon. I got to rock parties that I never would have gotten to do otherwise, and it would have taken me forever to get in front of a crowd like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I started getting paid to be a DJ almost immediately after I went out on my own, like 2004, 2005. I was doing Calico Jacks on Tuesday nights for the Steelers party, like. Big Snack, Casey Hampton would show up with like 20 teammates, and I would play a hip-hop night for like, I don't know, 50 people, 60 people. If you knew about it, you were there, but it was all the Steelers who would come over from the facility, they would come over from Heinz Field or whatever after tape day or, game tape day or whatever it was.
It's amazing.
And they would crush tacos, and Casey Hampton would drink a fifth of tequila to himself. And I would be playing 50 Cent Get Money, and like these guys were wilding out on a Tuesday night. You know what I mean?
Which only changed his blood alcohol level by like 0.01.
Yeah. Yes.
That's 350 pounds.
That's a mountain of a man right there.
The mountain. Are you a hip hop lover? Did you get involved with the hip hop culture?
Yeah,
Were you involved in any of the other like limbs of hip hop? Are you somebody who like has? Are you still interested in hip hop?
Oh, I am. Yeah. I'm getting into some shit that I, never did before. Some UK grime. Some, like I just downloaded an Omar album. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Omar.
No, I'll check that out.
Omar the King. Download the album Omar the King. Fuck if it's. I was watching DJ Newmark he does this thing called Follow the Beat, and he does. Or Follow the Bass, I'm sorry. He does he'll take a similar bass line from 3 or 4 different tracks and mesh them all together. And he went from, I was watching this last night. It's Rush, Tom Sawyer into MF Doom Meat Grinder into Omar the King. And they're all almost the same bass line.
That's crazy.
All different tempos, and he manages a way to lace them all together in a fantastic way.
Here's a little fact, nothing to do with hip hop. Jack and Diane and Fast Car,
Mellencamp, yeah.
the exact same song.
Tracy Chapman,
Do
Mellencamp.
do do do
Mm-hmm.
do do or do 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 do
Diddy diddy. Oh wait, no.
do 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 do.
What song did you say? You,
Fast Car and Jack and Diane.
Jack and Diane, yeah.
Yeah, and Fast Car.
Little ditty.
You got a fast car. I got a ticket to get
Follow the
out.
bass line, man.
So
Follow the money.
I just into the city.
That's the laugh.
What it means to
That's
me.
the laugh that I want.
want.
That's the laugh that I want. Were you around the Gorillas when they recorded Clint Eastwood?
Oh shit! Yeah, no, I'm actually on that record. That's me.
I heard you laugh.
Hey, finally, someone let me out of my bag. Time for me is nothing because I'm counting no laughs.
What's the fast? What's the up tempo, John?
I'm good at repairs. It's which one?
Yeah, which one is that? Is that Dirty Harry?
No. I can't remember the name of that record, but it's great. It's a solid one. Yeah.
It's a good one.
The
That laugh, though.
for the sack. I can't believe they're actually the same band as Blur.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
It's
right?
one guy. Yeah. I mean,
Really?
Yeah. he's the brainchild
He's a
behind
genius.
Gorillas.
He's a fucking
He's
genius.
got some studio musicians behind him.
I saw him at 3 Points. The 3 Points lineup looks insane. Dude, they got Skrillex and Fred again.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw like the whole lineup is just stacked. 3 Points is a great festival. It's in Miami. It's over Halloween, like kind of. It's like October 21st.
Florida
like that.
is bearable temperature-wise.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Is it still hot there in October? I mean, I went in March. It was 80 fucking degrees.
It's like peak hurricane season is the problem.
Ooh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep-a-roo.
I love it, man. I never did the festivals, man. That was one thing that I sort of missed out on.
Did you want to DJ festivals ever?
I mean, it would be cool. I've had the opportunity and turned down many to open for touring artists and stuff, just because like I don't know. Maybe it was a self-esteem thing, like a confidence thing, but
I played one festival.
Yeah.
It was called Hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo.
It was in Omaha, Nebraska.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
I bombed.
Yeah.
Dude, I did so
But
bad.
how can you tell at a
No,
festival?
I'll tell you how I could tell. Because people came up to me afterwards.
Like,
They
dude,
go, "We traveled here for hours to see you, and you disappointed us. You were
the word
not."
disappointment was used.
Yeah, they go, "It didn't sound like what we expected at all."
How?
It was tough, man. They had listened to my SoundCloud, and I had like a pre-Hullabaloo mix posted, which was really solid. But when I got there were two problems. Number one, I had gone on with MH the Verb at noon, and then my set was like 10 p.m. Well, I was done with the set at 1 p.m., and then I had 9 hours to get ready for my set,
Yeah.
during which time
You got drunk?
I got really drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I drank a whole bottle of Jack Daniels. And then somebody told me right before I was about to go on that they didn't have turntables, or that they couldn't get my turntables working or something.
So what'd you use?
And I was supposed to DJ on CDJs, which I had never done before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it was the combination of new technology plus brain
Butterflies.
fog.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little butterflies, too.
And yeah, of
That's a good
course,
point.
being drunk.
Yeah, it really didn't go well.
That's tough, man. I try not to. I try not to. Definitely don't go into sets drunk. I try not to drink a whole lot while I'm behind the decks, but definitely don't go
There
in
was
drunk.
another one. There was another one which I can't really talk about. I was in a state of mind that was not conducive to DJing,
Mm-hmm.
not because of alcohol.
Right.
Let me put it that way.
Sure.
And I was DJing with this
Secret
band
time.
called. Do you remember the Jungle? They were a big pit band while I was there from 2005 to 2009 called the Jungle. They were killers. Really, really solid band. And they were playing at Peter's Pub.
Yeah.
Upstairs. You know Peter's.
Mm-hmm.
New, I guess. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were
Shout out to
upstairs
Nick
at Peter's.
and the gang.
Yeah, what's up, Nick? Nick Polonic or something?
Palenko.
There you go. See, I still remember. Plinko board.
Right.
And I just couldn't hear right. Like there was
Mhm.
something about
Yeah.
the sound. It
Sure.
sounded like there were ghosts in the monitors talking to me and
Get
stuff.
some echo or something,
Yeah. It sounded like there was like different echoes.
Not
and
to mention.
I couldn't hear right. I don't know what the fuck. it
Yeah,
was.
no. Those things will do that to your perception. Your perception kit's kind of warped.
Well, what's next? What do you have to promote, or what are you excited about?
I mean, you were talking about mixes with somebody. I think it was Nugget. He's got, who was it? Was it Nugget? He's got mixes for days that he never released. Was that Nugget? Was that Adam?
Oh yeah, he said that. Pretty sure.
I was just going through, I want to retrain my brain to be more organized, especially when it comes to DJing, because again, love, hate. I sometimes I don't give a fuck, and other times I'm like, I'll spend 5 hours straight on my computer organizing music in Serato.
Are you still downloading MP3s,
Sure, yeah.
collecting MP3s,
Yeah.
organizing your library?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you keep it tight? Like, do you delete stuff that you don't play anymore and go through it and
Not as much
take
as I
notes,
should.
comments, things?
Yeah, not as
Crates?
much as I should. I am creating new crates now. I go through old crates, rename them, add to them, subtract from them. Just housekeeping shit,
How do you organize the music? Is it based on gigs or based on genres? Or a
it's
little
more
of both?
like feel, like based on a feel. If I'm doing something for a specific mix, I create just a folder for that mix,
Sure,
obviously.
sure,
But then,
sure.
I have, there is that. I don't even know if it's still floating around anymore, but I have a whole bank of music that I got from sources unnamed that,
Oh, Goofy White Kid's hard drive?
well, no, it wasn't his.
Because I definitely have that.
Yeah, I
Thanks,
got a lot
Bonics.
from him. I got a lot from him. I got a lot from Bonnet. I just
Yeah. And Dave's hard drive, which, look, I love you, Dave. You're coming on the podcast. I can't wait to interview you, bro. Your fucking mashups are out of tune, bro.
Yeah.
They're not in key.
Yeah.
Like, just lock that shit in. You can adjust the pitch.
You're going to have to take that up with him, I guess, right? I mean,
I'll tell him.
You're calling him out right now.
You can adjust the pitch without adjusting the tempo. The two are not locked.
Serato's good like that.
Well, Ableton is good like that. So all you have to do is just change the pitch but the problem is, I will admit.
Yeah, I heard you talking about this. Percentages.
Oh, shit. You know about that? Man, you were killing it. But no, I wasn't going to talk about that. What I was going to say is that if you don't, so this is an Ableton thing, not a turntable thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that thing was about turntables, how you can adjust the pitch without, the sine curves don't quite overlap or whatever. You'll have to listen to the other episode.
Yeah.
But this one is about Ableton. So if you're warping in Ableton.
Yeah.
And you warp straight, meaning if you warp the speed and also adjust the pitch where you don't lock the pitch, you preserve the quality of the record. The sound quality stays because you're just taking a wave and shortening it or lengthening it.
Yeah, keeping the same octave though, right?
No, it doesn't have to do with that. Doesn't have to do with octave because the pitch will change. If you speed it up, the pitch goes higher. If you slow it down, the pitch goes lower.
Yep.
That's all. It's the percentage of it is exactly the same. The faster it goes, the higher it goes. The slower it goes, the lower it goes. Right? And that you preserve the fidelity of the signal. So the digital signal or the analog signal, whatever it is preserved. If you don't do that, if you choose to use an algorithm to lock the pitch or adjust the pitch without changing the speed, now you get loss.
Right.
So that's how you can degrade the signal quality. And for that reason, it's often better just to slow it down without changing the pitch. It's sometimes better to slow it down with also adjusting the pitch. And sometimes then you lose the ability to make the pitches match.
Right.
So for that reason, that's one of the reasons that when you're DJing in Serato, you probably shouldn't click that key lock button, which, do you know what I'm saying? The one where it keeps the key locked regardless of what tempo you play at?
Yeah.
Because all your records will sound a little bit like shit if you use that.
Oh, yeah. It changes the quality of the audio, for sure.
But if you're always playing +8, -8, you kind of need it.
Yeah.
Because your shit's going to sound weird. But that's also...
What's the biggest jump you make? I mean, I never go...
Beyond +3, -3?
Yeah. I never really ever jump a whole 8.
Not often. I think, probably
Every
because I
now
have
and
too
again.
many songs. I have too many songs. Like I want to thin it a lot to the point where I am making some of those wild connections. The other thing I'm going to do in order to help me make those +8s, -8s, because that's really where the excitement happens, I think.
Yeah.
Is I'm also taking detailed notes in my Serato. So every record is getting location, so where the artists are from or where they're connected with, a little bit of information about the feel, what it makes me feel like.
Yeah.
So like some emotional color words to describe it.
Comments?
Exactly. Everything in the comments. Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Click the link below.
Sorry.
I've been trying not to. I've been trying not to do like those calls to action.
It makes people comfortable though. I mean, coming from a broadcast, I have some notes for you.
Shit. Yeah,
we won't go
please.
into it now.
No, I want to hear it.
I'm about to piss my pants right now.
Okay. Should we just close it up?
We can take a break if you want and
then
do
you
a
can
couple
give me my
more
notes.
minutes.
Dude,
Yeah.
come back and give me my notes.
All right.
I'll just talk to him. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. 1, 2, uno, dos, tres, cuatro. 1, 2. I gotta get through this. I gotta get through this. I gotta get my off of you. I gotta get through this. I gotta get through this. I gotta get myself off of my today. Give me just one moment. We'll be up right.
So
all right, what are your thoughts?
I would be surprised if you told me that you didn't prep at all for any of this. Do you not prepare at all?
Only if it's somebody that
Is outside your wheelhouse?
Yeah, does something that I don't understand. Like for Kahari, I'm preparing. You know, I want to know like what does city council really do? I read the budget from start to finish. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have some real questions for him prepared. Probably I'll have like a little, I don't know, maybe like a little document over here with some
notes.
Yeah, just like a couple questions.
Some
if I get
factoids.
stuck, yeah, if I get stuck or something, yeah. That'd be interesting too. Couple facts.
Yeah.
Something to go to if I get stuck.
You do sound extremely natural, and I take that you get that from your. I don't know. Do you really remember your time on PTS? Because I mean, experience is experience. You lose stuff over time, the mechanics, delivery, all that stuff. But you sound pretty natural.
Thanks.
On the microphone.
I did another 2 years in Boston too. So
you did?
I was at
podcasting or
WRBB.
Okay.
Yeah, and college radio. So I did 4 years of college radio or so.
Part of me thinks that you either have it or you don't, and I think that you have a natural gift of gab. I think,
Thanks,
I would say that sometimes, and this is probably your guest's fault. I know that I talk a lot and go. I have so many things running through my mind at one time. I'm super ADHD, diagnosed at age 4, so I kind of go all over the place. Keeping a trajectory is important, I think.
Bro, wait until you hear Climax's episode. It's a fucking mess.
Are you editing that right now?
Dude, yeah, it's even worse than this one.
How much editing do you do? Because that's another thing. I prefer to go uncut, but I know if you go crazy off the rails,
I only adjust people's names out if it's a big deal. Mm-hmm. There's a few things that I'll do.
Like your ex from Williamsburg.
Yeah, like her name's got to go, of course. What else? I try to remove some of those sounds that bother me. So the little clicking noises,
background noise,
the clicking noises that people's mouths make, I'll take those out, which is a lot of work, but I think it makes it sound a little better.
That scrubbing is what they call that.
Oh, cool. So I do a little scrubbing, a little scrub-a-dub-dub.
That was my everyday life because I was the production director, quote unquote, creative services director for KISS. So like I created all the stuff you hear in between the songs, the promos, the stabs, the sweeps.
Like that noise right there. I would have taken that shit out.
Yeah. Well, and when you're cutting spots, when you're doing a live, or when you're doing a live read, or when you're doing not live reads, but when you're doing recorded reads for commercials, you have to take the breaths out. 1, because they take up time, and 2, because they are unsoundly. They're not aurally.
Yeah. So now we're getting into the difference between the podcast that I put out and the reels.
Yeah.
So the reels have been super fun.
Yeah, you get to chop them up like those super quick, make them quick and appetizing.
Those are completely edited. Every second is another hit. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the editing process. So while I'm listening to it and scrubbing it.
Well, that's your advertisement for this too. That's what gets people hooked and be like, oh shit, this guy's fun.
And I can't wait to put faces on these little sounds that you're doing. I'm going to try to come up with my own, but there's going to be some winners. That one was like the old guy in like the toothless
back in my day.
From Family Guy or something. I don't know.
Hey, Chris. So the guy with the whistly. Hey, Chris. What's he say? What's his catchphrase?
Giggity, giggity, gee or something?
No, that's oh, fuck. What's that guy's name? I haven't watched Family Guy in so long. No, the old man that is always hitting on Chris. The son.
That's who I'm talking about. Yeah, wasn't that who you were?
Hey, Chris. The guy that does giggity giggity is the neighbor with the big chin.
Weirdo.
What's his name?
He's a freak.
Yeah, he's a pervert.
Total perv.
Why can't I think of that right now?
McGillicuddy or McGoll, something. So what else? So try to keep people more on track. That's helpful.
Yeah, I mean you're flying the ship, man. So that's a big thing. Your tones are great. I like your delivery. That's one thing that it takes a lot of people a long time to master is delivery. Keeping things short and concise, letting other people talk is a big thing. You do that well because it's everybody we are attention-seeking animals by nature. So hence why I was so fucking thrilled to come on here because I never get the chance to talk. I'm always the one answering the questions.
Yeah.
My wife was like, what are you doing? You're going driving across town to do a podcast? And I was like, yeah, I never get, nobody ever asks me the questions, God damn it.
It's a big deal that you're in the North Hills.
Yeah.
And you came all the way
listen,
out here, man.
It's
I
not
really
a big
appreciate
deal.
it.
It's not a big deal.
No, that is. It's really cool.
Fucking cross a river, go through a tunnel.
You crossed multiple rivers, man. Or did you just do the Ohio?
I just did the Ohio. I came through Liberty.
West End?
Liberty.
Oh, Liberty Tubes.
Mm-hmm. One river. Yeah. One river,
So
one tunnel.
The tubes go underneath the Ohio?
No.
No. You cross the bridge and then
Mhm.
you go underneath the
That's
mountain.
the Mon. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go through town, like if I went down past the stadiums,
Yeah.
that's
2 rivers.
2 rivers, 2 bridges, technically. That's fucked up. This is why people don't go anywhere in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's math, man. Nobody wants to do math.
Yeah. There's a that was one of Wade and Femi's points was that it's hard to get people to go places in Pittsburgh. Hard to get people to come out.
Mhm.
They had a show, I think, in kind of like above Mount Washington. There's the name of the town there.
Allentown.
Bottle Rocket.
Yeah.
Allentown Bottle
Allentown,
Rocket.
yeah.
I think that's what it's called. And they were talking about that for that show. But then I went to see them last night at Mixtape, and the show had ended. It was like 11:15 when I got there. It was fucking. They had packed that shit
I
up.
played a show at Mixtape once. It was
Really?
with the band, yeah. Yeah. I remember you asking somebody, what about Pittsburgh made you want to become a DJ? And for me, it was nothing. I wanted to become a musician because
Whoa.
of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And then sort of passion and necessity bred the DJ part. But, I started playing drums when I was 8 years old.
Whoa.
Got my own drum kit when I was 14, 13. And then I was in a band. We got paid to play gigs.
Should we start a band?
We could.
I kind of want to get a drum kit for up here, just for recording.
Yeah.
Like I want to start recording more music. I want
Yeah.
to make my own album.
I got
What do you
got
play?
a studio in my basement. I got the DJ set up in there. I got a piano set up in there. All of my guitars are over at my brother's studio.
I got guitars.
I got a drum set there though. I got a Pearl Export Select, nice
Ooh.
five piece kit. Yeah.
Do you have
Sounds nice.
Guitar Hero?
I don't.
Mm.
No.
Just-
never got into that, man.
Were you ever video game?
I
kinda
was
dude?
until I was like fucking 9 or 10. Yeah, and then
And that was it. You
I
wanted
w-
money.
always an outdoor kid. I never spent time indoors if I had, unless I had to. I was the alarm was my dad. We lived at the beginning of a neighborhood that was one way in, one way out, and we were up against some woods, and my call home was my dad just on the back porch, yelling at the top of his lungs, time for dinner, whatever.
Do you guys had dinner together as a family every night?
Yeah, every night.
I think it's so important. I'm trying to institute it for my family. I never had it because we were vegetarians. So
Oh,
all
yeah.
it was like a pot of beans, like peas and cheese.
You weren't
and
looking forward
rice.
to it.
No, it's not food. It's just like grazing. Vegetarians graze. They don't
prison
eat.
food.
It's literally, bro. And they don't want to admit it. My dad, now he's constructed this whole narrative that there was meat in the household growing up, which is wild.
Rewrite history.
Cognitive dissonance.
sure, yeah.
I think, right? Isn't that what it's called? Or it's
Mhm.
repression or cognitive
No,
dissonance?
no. Conscious uncoupling.
Ooh. That's dope.
No, that has to do
Wow.
with marriage, but
Wow. Oh, shit. Is that a divorce?
that's what's her name's. Her she coined the term. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, shit. Is
Her
she?
and Chris Martin, they didn't divorce. They consciously uncoupled.
Oh, I love that.
Which is a fancy, a hippie way of saying
They fucking broke
I
up.
don't like you anymore.
Yeah. Gwyneth Paltrow was Homeland?
No,
Claire Danes.
Claire Danes.
I
was
can't tell the
Homeland.
difference between those two.
One's blonde, one's a redhead.
Claire Danes red?
Mm-hmm. Gwyneth Paltrow, talented
she's
Mr. Ripley.
Something about Mary.
No,
Claire Danes.
no,
Somebody else. Meg Ryan?
no. Shit, what's her name? She's married to the guy from Good Charlotte now.
Oh, nice. Are you the?
She
you
went
you
to high
kinda
school
look
with
like the
Snoop
guy from
Dogg.
Good Charlotte with the little soul patch.
Benji. Is it Benji? They're twins. The two dudes are twins. Benji and get the other guy's name.
DJ Soulpatch.
DJ Soulpatch. I had a dude call me out for the Soul Patch one night. I was doing a bar crawl in Oakland, of all places. Shout out to Pitt. This guy's like, you look like fucking, what's,
Captain Morgan?
No, what's Vanilla Ice's real name?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know.
Rob Van Winkle. He's
Yeah.
like, you look like fucking Rob Van Winkle. This is the first stop on the bar crawl. And I was like, just you wait, man. I was buying him beers all night. At the end of the night, he's all fucking drunk. He's like, you're pretty cool, Rob.
You're like, stop. Collaborate and listen. That guy was holding it down for South Florida. You know, he was A1A, Beachfront Avenue. That's
Avenue,
where I
yeah.
used to live. A1A was one of the best places I ever lived. I lived on A1A.
No shit.
50 Northeast 19th Street off A1A, which 1 block away from A1A in Deerfield Beach. It was one of the best years of my life. I rode my bike everywhere. There's this little bar called Kahuna. It was my first year of medical school, first and second year of medical school. We had a bar called Kahuna where they had 50-cent Jello shots with whipped cream on top. Incredible dive bar. I was single. Broke up with my girlfriend, which
Those were the days.
the worst decision of my life, by the way. My grandpa had died, and I kind of clipped her because sometimes when you're in pain, you kill the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of
You hurt the things that are good for you. Sure. I've been there.
yeah, exactly.
What was your experience with Florida overall then? Like fucking number
It's hot,
one or
man. We call it the blast furnace. All 6 months of unbearable heat and humidity. For me, it's a lot.
so what is it? Let's play Would You Rather. Would you rather Pittsburgh? Would you rather Florida?
I'd rather be in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think the people here for me are just much more real. I love the history. I love the fact that my ancestors are buried up here, that my grandma did all her work here.
Mm-hmm.
Look behind you, man. Look at her poster. Look at her campaign poster for the Democratic National Party where she was putting in work in Squirrel Hill for
Bicky.
60 years, bro. Bicky Goldzer, go for the Goldzer. She was the mayor of Squirrel Hill. That's what they used to call
Fucking
her.
hell, man.
Good friends with Sophie and everything. Yeah.
Is that a nickname or was that her name?
Beatrice. Although on the birth certificate it just said Baby Goldzer. She was the youngest of 8, and they didn't even feel like naming her.
No shit.
They had chickens. This is why I
the
had a
little
chicken
girl
back here.
over
Look at
there.
this. This chicken. This is for Bicky right here. It's for Bicky because she used to rock a chicken suit. She wore a chicken suit to the renewing of her vows with my grandpa. She had
What?
She had one of those actually. She had one of those, but she also had a chicken suit. She used to wear for birthdays and shit.
Yeah.
And the point was, she never forgot where she came from. When her family first showed up here in Jersey, they had a little store. Like, remember how I said how my other grandpa was, my other great grandpa?
He had to save up to bring them all over.
Exactly. They had a little store. It was like a bodega where they sold chicken.
In Jersey.
In Woodbine, New Jersey, which I've been to. So basically a ghost town at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Jewish community is gone. I've seen those graves too. This is crazy how it's going to come full circle here. Watch this.
Cyclical.
I show up. My buddy's getting married in one of my best friends. So shout out to Colin Mannix, Kristen Delovich out in Moscow, Idaho. Wild place right now. Remember the Moscow murders?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about that shit? 4 college kids who got murdered?
Oh, yeah, in Idaho. Yeah. Yeah, the guy came to Pittsburgh after he did it, right?
Oh, yeah.
They caught him
I
in
think
Pittsburgh or in Pennsylvania somewhere.
in PA, yeah. I don't think it was Pittsburgh, but definitely PA.
That's the voice I like right there when you get real low and you're like,
He was studying
sorry. He was studying
somewhere in
forensics
PA.
or some shit like
you're
that.
right. You're right. Yeah, studying forensics and trying to prove that he could get away with the crime.
Mhm, yeah.
I'm not going to put his name out there. I
Sure.
know it though. BK.
think I do, yeah.
We announced
Mhm.
we like abbreviated BK on all the messaging boards, Reddit boards, and everything. I was in there for a long time. I've had to get away from that like true crime shit.
Yeah.
This little dark, negative energy, not good for me. But
No bueno.
these two are amazing couple. Colin runs a theater out there. He
Okay.
has DJs. He has turntables in the back with 45s, like an amazing setup. He's bringing the arts to Idaho.
Where are your records behind you?
Yeah,
by the way?
right behind me.
I don't want to cut you off. I just know that you're
Yeah, I got a bunch of records.
Vinyl head.
Dude, I could play 4 hours of 45s right now.
Nice.
I think.
I still have some records. I got a lot of records, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Anyhow.
the reason that I mentioned damn, you're gonna get me
Idaho.
lost.
Idaho.
I'm so mad at you for getting
I'm
me
sorry,
lost.
man. I was just like,
All right.
like, this is what happens when I listen to you all week long, and then I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you talked about that.
The reason that I brought up Colin, I don't remember exactly, but he's amazing. We did a mix together, which is called Attack Decay, which is definitely worth listening to.
Cool.
It's really, really unique. It's all old records that he collected, and then I mixed.
Mm-hmm.
So he like went online and bought a bunch of old like $100 records, so like thousands of dollars worth of records, and I ripped them all into Serato so I could DJ with them without damaging them, and then I blended it all together. It was actually, I thought, a really cool project. And then
we were talking about Jersey for a second.
Oh yeah, thank you. So they got married in Cape May.
Yeah.
And when I was at their wedding in Cape May, I went and took a detour to Woodbine.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Found the graves.
Yeah.
It was really wild. But the way I found it was the cool story. So I had no idea where I was going. I'm just like, I want to go to Woodbine and see if there's any remnants of my family here. Yeah. Literally, that's all. Like, I had no idea. I'd never been there before. I had no map, no idea. Although I had
just
been
an
there.
Inkling, yeah.
No, I had been there as a kid. So when I was 4 years old, I remember actually one of my earliest memories was going to Woodbine and celebrating there with family. Woodbine will shine tonight. Woodbine will shine. Woodbine will shine tonight. Woodbine will shine. When the sun goes down and the moon comes up, Woodbine will shine was the song that we sang.
That's some nostalgia right there.
I still remember it. I mean, obviously. I also like performed some other shit. I always used to grab the mic and perform at these things. Like when I was 3, 4, 5, whatever, I would just grab it.
Don't take the sounds out, by the way.
Oh, never, bro. You mean of you coughing and shit?
Yeah.
Go
Makes us
tell
human.
Aunt Rhodey. Go tell Aunt Rhodey. Go tell Aunt Rhodey. The old gray goose is dead. That was the first song I ever performed. You can ask my mom about it. I was 2. I did that at one of the weddings. Her younger brother got married to his first wife, and I did that at the first wife's wedding. Anyway, when I was 2. Anyway, and then I performed again. I did an amazing rap to Missy Elliott over Work It when I was like 14, 15, and it killed it. And I was hanging out with the general's daughter. Yeah, it was at his commissioning. My uncle was like Marine Corps colonel, and they commissioned him into his officership.
Yeah.
And the general was there, but the general's daughter was mad cute. And so I hit the rap.
You were working it back then, huh?
I was working it.
Flexing.
Always. So I get there. I'm just looking around for any sign of life. The place is a ghost town. Mm-hmm. Do not go to Woodbine, New Jersey. This is South Jersey, okay? So I don't know if you know Jersey at all.
I've been to Jersey once to pump gas.
No, you didn't get to pump.
Yeah,
Somebody
right.
They don't.
Yeah, the guy was like, "Get back in your car."
Are you the police?
Yeah. You're not allowed.
Yeah, Jersey is like, I don't like North Jersey because it's just like New York light. I don't like Central Jersey because it's awkward, and I don't like South Jersey because it's like
people often say that Jersey is the armpit
of America, right?
America.
Yeah. Not a fan. So I get there, I'm looking around for any sign of life.
Yeah.
I find this little diner, and I go in.
So literally ghost town, nothing, like businesses are all gone.
There's
couple things left.
One business open.
Yeah.
In the entire town. It was this diner, and everybody's in there. I'm walking from table to table. The whole town is inside this diner eating. And one guy's in uniform. He's like a police officer in uniform. It was over Memorial Day, and I asked him if he knew where the Jewish cemetery was.
Kind sir, could you please direct me to the Jewish cemetery?
He's like, I actually know where that is. I was just out putting flags on the graves for Memorial Day.
Hey.
And I think I remember Goldzer.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, he directs me to...
Did he take you out there, or did he just kind of tell you?
He told me where to go, but this is the wildest part. Listen to this. No, this is even better. He goes, yeah, it's easy. It's right up the street. You just go right at the blinker, and you'll be there in 2 blocks on your left. This town was so small, they had named the traffic lights. It was the blinker.
The blinker. Nice.
So I found it. I found.
Sorry, I just spit on myself.
I found some.
The blinker.
It's wild, right? I found some flowers, like a beautiful flower.
Yeah.
For her. Rebecca Feldman is her name. So Beatrice Feldman was her birth name. Vicky Feldman. Yeah. And then the Feldman girls. She was one of 8 kids. 7 of them were girls. Many of whom were in Hollywood, like Ziegfeld Follies girls.
Yeah.
Incredible talents. All
moved west.
Yeah, a lot of them. And then one was the only boy, was also unbelievably interesting. His name was Hilly, and he ran a print shop in Philadelphia, one of the most significant like art house print shops.
Yeah.
Which is called the Phoenix. And I have a book behind me somewhere that he printed, which is also really, really, really special. They're all dead now, but pretty cool family. Anyway, I found the grave, put the flowers down, got some cool pictures, and I was really glad I did it.
Yeah.
Go find your family's history.
Discovery. Yeah, it's all about discovery, man. If you don't like, that's again circling back to that thing we were talking about before. Is just like I want to get my parents in front of a camera and record their audio. I think that's I think it's important. It's definitely like a written history, or a visual history, really. If we have the technology now, you can pull out your phone and be like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, what happened when you were kids?"
The microphone on the iPhone is phenomenal. If you can find somewhere quiet, you just set it down.
Fucking iRig.
Hit let's go.
Yeah, you can do voice notes on that shit. I used to have I have a friend, shout out KDO, she lives out in Seattle. She's my female voice talent. Anytime I do freelance voiceover work and I need a female voice, hey, send me a voice note.
So what is voiceover work? What do you mean?
I do some stuff in the tri-state area. I do some work for a substance abuse program in Youngstown, Austintown, Ohio. Like I said, AAA. I'm the voice of the Tourism Bureau for Moundsville, West Virginia.
Oh shit, that place is really cool. We've been there.
They got the fucking zip line. They got.
Well, no, they have the Indian Mounds.
Yeah, they have the Indian Mounds. I mean, I guess that's the attract. They're trying to like.
They're trying to branch out.
They're trying to like not talk about trampling on the graves of the natives, basically. So they're trying to highlight other, other features of that area.
Yeah, I cannot wait to go to Serpent Mound. Have you been out there?
No, no.
It's Western Ohio, so it's not close.
Right.
That's like 4.5 hours from here. But apparently, have you watched Ancient Apocalypse yet?
It's on my watch list on Netflix. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's wild, bro. I'm not going to get into it here.
Yeah.
But like,
you could talk for hours about that. Yeah. I got the gist of it. My buddy Lee, shout out Lee Trebosic.
Oh, Lee's into it.
But yeah, he was like, you got to watch that shit.
Yeah. I mean, all I'll say is that I'm very excited to go to Serpent Mound. There's like some alignments where it's lined up with
some uncanny things.
There's this idea that people have been here longer than we think, that culture's been around a lot longer, that there was this civilization that was more advanced than we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Just gone.
Yeah.
They built shit with sound. That's how they think they levitated the pyramid blocks.
Mm-hmm. Sound waves, magnetic waves. Yeah. That was pretty good.
Thanks.
That was you whistle and hum at the same time. Can't do it right now. What the fuck are we doing right now?
See, bro. Well, you just cracked that beer. We got to keep talking.
I guess.
Do you have any memories of me from those days?
Fuck yeah, dude. You were so fucking tenacious. I remember you being just like about everything. When you would come around, you were so inquisitive and just fucking happy to be around, which is, that I was the same way. I'm just happy to be a part of something that is, not unto myself, like it was a place where I fit in and there was no judgment. Like we created a culture. You know, like I hate to be on Bonics's ball bag, but
Grab the bulls by the
Grab
ball,
the- yeah.
buddy.
he created. I mean, he literally had. I was telling my wife, or maybe it was my mom. I was because my mom had to come over and watch the kids. I was like, he sort of had a hand in every. He sort of influenced every DJ in Pittsburgh at one point or another. You know, whether directly or indirectly, and we were part of that. We were part of that ground zero type of thing.
Everyone in our class, like I would say, Select and Buzz Crates are kind of like they weren't
No,
influenced by Bonics.
No,
Like, they
no.
influenced Bonics, but other than that,
But he again, he's a connector of people, and I'm sure he connected those people with people that
oh yeah,
needed to be connected with, if that makes any sense.
yeah, you got them some gigs
on
and
some
shit.
existential fucking
He got them paid a couple times for sure.
yeah. No, he's a special dude. So I just remember you being like fucking young and hungry and like, let's have fun, let's make a party. Like, that's what I remember most about you. Just never a bad mood on you, man. Never a bad, even still to this day, every time I see you, it's like, it's a fucking smile on your face, a glimmer in your eye.
I'm happy to be alive, man. I've been through
Me
some
too.
shit. Like,
Yeah, me too.
I've seen things.
Yeah.
You know?
Same. I'm interested
had
in your
bad times.
history. We got to do another episode where we just talk about your history because
I've talked about it on here. I talked about
I
it
know.
on here.
Yeah. The
I was
the
miserable. I was a
dark
miserable
time,
fucking dropout.
Yeah, the dark times of your life. I want to talk about
My dad bounced. That's what it was. So if you like, as a father, like take this, focus on this. This is what I've been reprocessing. Why did I fuck up? What happened? Like, how did I get in trouble? My dad wasn't living in the house, dude.
Yeah.
He left. He went and lived in Hamburg, Michigan, and I was in Ann Arbor. And the way he'll tell the story, and you can also interpret it that way, and I agree, is that I left and I went to
With
Ann
Mom?
Arbor.
Yeah.
Well, Mom was in between. She'd be there sometimes. And
Who'd you go
sometimes
to
she'd
live
be,
with
like, in
then?
Hamburg. It was just us. It was just teens. It was like me and my friend Kenyelle. Like we were 14, 13, boosting cars and
Living on your own.
yeah, and like siphoning gas and just like
No shit.
being delinquents.
I didn't hear about that shit.
Yeah, and like it's not okay. 14 is not an adult. You're not old
No.
enough.
18,
to-
you're not an adult.
Right.
When you look at developmental evolution.
So I think if anything, if there's like anything I took away from it, it's that enjoy the young years with your kids. These are the easy times.
Yeah.
Definitely put in the work, but don't think that it's going to be a coast. Don't think it's going to be downhill in teen years because once
Does
like
not get easier, man.
no, I don't think so at all. I think the hardest part is the transition to adulthood. Once you have an adult's body, but you don't have an adult's brain, and you're trying to sort that out, that's
Yeah.
tough.
And listen,
Pregnancy, getting people pregnant, the ability to
you can be the best parent on the planet, and once your kids go out into the world, like to school, even as an elementary student or a middle schooler or a high schooler, the outside influence on your kids has a lot of bearing on who they become as an adult. So, do your best, cross your fingers. I mean, that's kind of how it is, I'm pretty confident in my my adulting and my parenting. Am I perfect? No fucking way. But
they're their own people.
they're
Like
their own people.
they're going to create their own world, with or without us, but we have an opportunity to make it a fucking hell of a lot better.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
if we play the game.
And isn't that the game of life? Just to make your kid's life better than yours. I know that
If-
was my parents' goal, and they succeeded because my life is better now than theirs was when I was their age,
I heard somebody say we're doctors and lawyers so our kids can be artists and musicians. It's an interesting take.
Yeah.
I think
Is it the right one, though?
Well, you could say everyone should be able to be artists and musicians. Kumbaya. Let's take the AI money and just fund the arts and just let everybody dance around in the, out in the parks and
Let AI run
like hula
everything,
hoop.
and we can.
Everybody will just be a giant music
We
festival.
can go to a giant nudist colony and
Like maybe.
Bacchanalia.
I don't think so. I think there's a hierarchy. And some people are more motivated than others. Some people are going to want to work harder than others, and they're going to have to be rewarded for it. Otherwise, I don't know. I think otherwise probably it wouldn't. I wonder about that sometimes. Like if there was no incentive to work hard, so meaning if there was pure communism where there's no way to make more money than anyone else. Everybody gets the exact same 40 G's. You're done. There's no possible way to get 50.
What do they call that? Atrophy? Or
Anarchy?
atrophy? I'm sorry, atrophy.
Atrophy?
It's kind of like everything comes down to
Entropy, maybe.
Yeah, entropy.
Maybe.
But that's not the same thing. Yeah, never mind.
Entropy is the idea that everything gets
I'm
more
on some
scattered
Aldous
and
Huxley
disordered.
bullshit. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, this is definitely a dystopian thought, but the idea that if everybody absolutely had no way to get more money, don't you think that some people would still work harder, even if there was absolutely no way to bank from it? Like they would still just be hustling. Like
I
there's
got
just some
that
people,
dog in me.
right? It's not for money. Like what we were doing when we were passionate about DJing, when we were collecting MP3s up on blogs and shit. Like we didn't care. It wasn't for money.
Hollertronics.
The hollerboard, that wasn't about money, right?
Just digging for hours on end for nothing.
Well, no, it was for
something.
Spank Rock.
Yeah.
put that pussy on me. Put that pussy on. Put.
There's some holes in it. Ha. Get another one of them ranch waters, bro. Keep on the mic.
Hey. You don't know how to beatbox?
A little bit. Oh, easy.
Drop some water on the mixer?
You got a little water on the 70 there, bro.
That's all right.
Raj.
Who talked shit on my 70 was Selecta. He's like, I can't DJ on this.
Why not?
He says that he's more used to the Pioneer, that's the club standard, and that this is Yestertech.
I don't disagree with him, but I think if you're, I mean, Jesus Christ, if you can do it, you can do it.
I just bought this thing. I thought this was the new shit.
I don't know, man. Everybody's consolidating. The Rev 7 is pretty fancy looking.
What's that?
That's the new Pioneer,
the new Pioneer?
Controller. Yeah, it's got
do
the
you
spinning
DJ on
platters.
controllers?
I own one. Yeah, I have the. I think it's an SB3. It's it's
you take it to a wedding. It's easier than bringing the turntable.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to hear you scratch.
I mean, I can scratch on it too. Like it's not that bad. It's pretty responsive. But it's much more ergonomic, logistically functional than this.
Yeah, even a coffin case, like you're fucking.
I used to borrow McFly's. Shout out DJ McFly, Jace. I miss you, bro.
Yeah.
I used to borrow his when I forget why I had to borrow it, but I used to DJ that place down in the South Side.
These things are so good with a little bit of juice, right? It's just like that little bit of juice just gives it that.
The prickly pear again, yeah. I like
did you get another pear?
I got the pear one.
Mine's
I like it, dude.
Lime and prickly pear?
I fucking
That's
hate
what I got.
pear, but I fucking love
It's
this.
so good. The spicy one's killer, too.
You gotta try this one called Faux Pas. It's a, that's the brand name. It's a spicy mango margarita tequila seltzer.
Wow. Yeah, there's a question about what the right liquor is to put into the seltzers. So should it be...
High noons are fantastic.
These just say alcohol. Does that mean it's just like ethyl alcohol?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it all comes down to what is it? Evergreen?
Everclear.
Yeah, Everclear.
Yeah.
Grain. It's grain alcohol, yeah.
right?
Yep. I mean, that's what it all is. And then, like whiskey, they pour the mash back into it, which gives it its color and flavor. And I'm not really sure how tequila works. I know they use the agave plant to make that, but I'm pretty sure that everything gets boiled down to
it's all just liquor.
ethanol. Yeah, it's distilled down to its purest form, and then they add the ingredients.
I got a
back
great
in.
bottle of bourbon behind me.
Oh fuck! Please don't.
I just bought it for this podcast.
Fuck you.
I'm serious. It's closed. It's got the wrapper on it.
Yeah, but you didn't buy that shit for this. I can't stop staring at your selector shirt.
It's fucking out of hand, right? Can we talk about why I have to wear it?
Yeah, what's the beef? I missed that on the podcast.
Yeah. So watch the Wade Anthony episode. It's really funny. Or listen to it if you guys listen to episodes.
Consume it.
I think like 15% of people are on Apple Podcasts for now with this, which tells me at least 15% of people don't watch at all.
Yeah.
And so that means it's more than 15. It's probably at least 25 or maybe 35.
Probably double. Yeah, 30.
Something like that. So for those who aren't watching, this shirt is absolutely ridiculous.
It reminds me of a fucking...
supposed to be like a 90s rap album.
Yeah. Who am I thinking of?
Maybe like Big
Make
Timers?
Make them say,
nah. That's I like that. I really like this rapper. He's from Florida actually, and his name is Master P.
Master P.
Yeah, he's actually one of the first rappers I ever heard.
Brain fog, man. COVID
Yours
hit me
is
hard.
heavy. Yours is heavy. Do you need some ivermectin? Can I interest you in some horse dewormer, sir?
I'll take a
bit of horse dewormer, sir.
I'm taking
Just a spot of the horse dewormer.
spot of the Paxlovid, please.
I'll take the rapists for 500.
That's therapists. Sean.
That was one of the...
Just like your mother likes it, Trebek.
That's probably the best skit from our era, like on SNL,
good.
without a doubt.
It's pretty good.
Do you guys watch it?
Yeah, I still,
Every Saturday.
I still catch it. Not every Saturday, no.
Yeah.
Definitely on Penguin game nights. When a Saturday Penguin game, I come home at 11:30 and it's ready to go. I'm just, and I'm so wound up from doing that.
You gotta
I'm just
do something to
there's
wind
no
up.
fucking way I'm going to sleep after a Pens game.
Yeah. You get that same feeling that Petey was talking about, like when they drop the puck and they keep singing the song and everything. It's like amazing. Feels good.
It's my favorite gig for sure.
Wow.
Getting to play for 20,000 people on a clip, on a Tuesday night.
We had fun. I've been to one game so far.
Yeah. That's the before this, I saw you at the fucking Detroit game.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
I saw you there.
Hey, I know him.
Red Wings. I'm really glad I went down and talked to you, man. This has been so cool. And yeah, it wasn't easy because it was hard to like navigate my way down there.
Yeah.
There's this club section, and then you got to take that.
No.
All right, we can pause.
No. We are over. We are over.
Yeah. But you keep on cracking beers.
I'm sorry.
All
right. After this one, we're done. All right. What were we getting at? Pens?
We were talking about how it feels to DJ for that huge crowd.
Oh,
and but it's not a traditional DJ gig at all. I mean, you're really you're not mixing records, right? Or do you have like a 15-minute joint when they walk in, like where you can?
Yeah. No, I definitely prep for that. The Penguins are sort of historically tied to the X because that's the flagship station. So people that walk in those doors are generally like Yinzers who are inclined to rock, alternative, indie. So the new owners, the new ownership is like a whole different thing. So we're sort of going away from all of that stuff and. They want it to be a party, kind of like VGK. If you go to Vegas, they have an amazing game day production, an in-game production. So they want it to be a party, So we try and do remixes of some, I don't want to totally get away from classic rock or alternative rock or indie rock even. But they, they're more into they want the dance party vibe. So it's a lot of EDM. A lot of indie EDM.
Little Cotton Eye Joe.
That's one of the things that we don't play from the DJ position.
Oh, they got it up top.
They got it up top, but from what I understand, moving forward this year, that's going to be a dual role for Pete and I.
Dope.
So
Dope. So wait, you're going to take over?
We're going to control all of the music for the game, in game.
Dude, congrats.
Live DJ. I know Pete talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's like an in-game DJ and a live DJ. So those two roles are probably going to be combined. I'm hoping I can work every game with Pete, because that would be the shit, to have that guy to lean on, like we said before, somebody on a computer, somebody on a set of turntables or whatever the medium. But yeah, it's going to be
that sounds
crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, honestly, to have just more live. I think everybody is, moving towards this idea of seeing somebody's face.
It's a game day experience, man. It's all about the experience. It's no longer just about hockey.
Yeah.
It's about coming to the arena and being visually stimulated by, all of the media that the team itself has to offer. And then once you're in the game, being stimulated by the sounds of the arena, by the music, by the gameplay, by the announcers. Like Pete said, we have an amazing team there, and it's mind-blowing how it all works, So to add to that game day experience is it's the best, man.
Are you a super fan?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bigger than any of the other sports here?
Yes, yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins fan,
Much more
die hard. Yeah, I mean that was my, I'm a Steelers fan and a Pirates fan too, but the Penguins are the most successful. I think we weren't around for the dynasty of the Steelers back in the 70s.
Right. But we were for the 2005 and 2009.
Yeah,
on the steps of the cathedral.
Sure. Yeah, I can't take away from the Steelers, man.
Chucking Bud Lights
can't
out of a
take
backpack.
Away.
Kegs on the steps of the Cathedral of Learning. They'll never understand.
No.
Never.
No, but as far as dynasties go, the Penguins are up there. I mean,
flipping cars. Somebody yells, "That car likes the Eagles," and then people just started flipping it. It was just that quick on Bigelow Boulevard. Just, I obviously had nothing to do with it. I was too far away to stop them, but
I'm sure you didn't.
I did watch.
You're a fine, upstanding youth.
I observed. It would have been very dangerous for me to step in. This was a riot, basically.
Heavy lifting's bad for your back, man. You can't fuck around with that shit. We're going to be plastered before this thing's over. Why don't we wrap up? Why don't we fucking wrap up here soon?
All right. So
I got like half a prickly pear.
All right, let's do quick questions. All right, let's do some quick questions. Yeah,
all
rapid fire. All right. Current hip hop artist.
Current hip hop artist. I can't, dude. It's a tough one because I always listen to Mac. Like I listen to Mac every day. R.I.P. Fucking. I listen to Mac every fucking day.
Golden era hip hop.
Yes. New hip hop artists.
No, we can move on. Golden era hip hop.
Oh, golden era hip hop? Tribe.
Philly or New York?
Philly. Just because of the bounce, man. Just because of the fucking bounce.
Vegas or LA?
LA.
Did you have your wedding in Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Who DJ'd?
Super Scott.
Oh, shit. How's he doing?
I don't know. He's been in North Carolina for better part of 15 years now, I think. I haven't kept in contact with him. I know. Hey, I'm sure he's doing well. I mean, I follow him and his wife on Instagram, and
Yep.
throw some hearts out here and there.
Favorite social media?
None of it really. Jesus Christ, Instagram, I guess.
Instagram is killer. I'll tell you why. They instituted this new calendar feature which I've been loving for these podcasts. Obviously, we didn't have it, but for all the future podcasts,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I can now invite
tag it.
people to a meeting in the chat. It's native, invested into the chat, nested into the chat, where I can hit the plus button, set up a meeting for 2 hours or whatever with the address and everything else, and they just people just show up.
Click, or you can remind me. You can put it out ahead of time and remind yourself for it.
It's huge. I was so impressed that they did this.
Who are you going to take in
I
the cage
hate
fight?
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, who are you going to take in the
absolutely.
cage fight?
Bro, Elon all day.
Yeah?
I think I like first of all, I'm not on Facebook, so fuck Mark Zuckerberg.
Zuck's been training Brazilian jiu-jitsu though,
I know.
for a while now.
Oh, I know. Look, I think Zuck will win, but I hope that he loses. It's not complicated.
He looks like the type of dude that collects skin.
Oh, Jesus. He's definitely
not of
not
this earth.
typical, not neurotypical. He's got something. He's a little awkward, you know?
He is, yeah.
But so is Elon. Maybe that's what it is. It's a battle of the neurodivergent.
They're both interesting cats for sure.
I think Elon's opened up about it. Elon has opened up about his
Isn't he
spectrum.
Asperger's?
Yeah, he's on the spectrum, and he has a kid who is too.
Yeah.
You know about
X?
this? Yep. One of them. I don't remember which one.
Number.
Yeah,
Doesn't
they got
he
weird
name his
names.
kids numbers and letters?
Not
and
all
shit?
of them. He's got like 4 baby mamas, and some of them have normal names.
Isn't he with RL? Didn't he?
Grimes?
Yeah.
Did you just say RL? Because RL Grimes? That's hilarious.
And that what her name is?
No, her literal name is just Grimes. There's a DJ named RL Grime because it's based on RL Stein, the Goosebumps author.
Yeah.
That's so funny that you thought that, though.
I just dated
That's
myself.
the other headliner for 3 points is Grimes. Yes, we came full circle. We did it. Why don't we do it in the road? Nobody gonna find us there. Never drink water. Fish fucking it.
Frogs. I love it, man.
Thanks, Scottro.
Beef tips.
Let's get a picture. Who coined that? Do you remember who coined that?
I think it was
Carrie.
Brandon.
No, Carrie.
Was it Carrie?
Carrie Funa. Carrie Funa. Shout out to Carrie Funa.
I love her.
She used to call me beef tips.
Beef tips.
Yeah, because beef tips were a thing in Pittsburgh, but it wasn't a thing in Ann Arbor. Like, I'd never heard of it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and then somebody was like, dude, it sounds like fucking beef tips. It's hilarious. And I was like, what's a beef tip? First of all, I'm vegetarian. Second of all.
Still?
No.
Still
bro.
veggie?
No, meat and fruit.
Meat and fruit. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I like...
Shout out to Suzanne, by the way. That was a fascinating episode.
Oh, dude, thanks for listening to that one. That was the most popular, you know? Still,
Really?
it's that one, then PDC.
I would vibe with her.
And then Nugget.
I would vibe with
Suze, Pete, Nugget. Oh, bro, you go take her class. You're on the
her. I have
north
never
side.
done yoga. Never done yoga. But I just, from hearing that episode, I would vibe with her hard.
She's really cool. She's like your Jewish mom that you never had.
Yeah.
Literally. There's another cool one in New York City. So my personal yoga teacher, a guy named Brian Pupils, is in New York, and he does a yoga practice called Katona Yoga. And it's headed by this Jewish woman who's like very heavily into Kabbalah, and she goes into Jewish mysticism and she weaves it into yoga. Talks about how your house is like your body.
Yeah.
So, and it's just like this extended metaphor that just explains everything. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's fucking wild. Nobody gonna find us there. Why don't we do it in the road? Dead skunk in the middle of the road.
I love you, bro.
You too.
I love you.
Love you, Scott. Peace.